Ayy, this ain't a drill. Only time I'm playing is on the field. And when I'm on the field, no, I got mad skills. And you know we bout to eat this a fast meal. Y'all gotta pay for this heat like a gas bill. We keep on coming back, so yeah, they mad still. 716 make them pay me some bad bills. Red, white, and blue like Superman, so you know we eating at the Super Bowl. Kill the competition, set up the funeral. Josh Allen catching all the shots you go for. We callin' blitz. Ready to start, we ain't calling no quits. I'm the #1 draft pick. A lot of y'all talk, but I ain't hearing it. Only listen to Keyshawn and him. Talk about the Bills dominating on the field. All our players got them skills. Buffalo don't make a kill. When we talk about the Bills dominating on the field, and our players got them skills. Buffalo won't make a kill.
Ooh, wrong person. What's going on? Welcome back to another live episode of the Post Podium Podcast, home of the all truth, no sodium takes. I am your co-host, Aramis.
Now it's my turn for the keys.
All right, and it's just me and Keys today. So look, we got a lot to get to. The best part of all this, though, bro, is you ain't got nowhere to be.
I ain't got nowhere to be. Where else would you rather be than right here, right now? Where else would you rather be?
You know where I'd rather be? I'd rather be in a place that is a lot more positive than I'm about to be.
Well,
And
guess what, guys? I got you today. I got you.
Okay, I mean, cool. Look, I feel bad, but I'm really about to be on people's cornflakes today. I'm sorry, but the reason I went this direction is because most of the game, and you know, the members that are in the Discord chat, you know, I was talking a lot about this last night. The idea that this team went a full 3 quarters, not a full 3 quarters, because that first drive was raw. Like the first drive to me was like, okay, we might be onto something here with all these weapons and everything that we got, and the way that we just easily moving the ball against this defense, right? I thought that was going to continue the whole rest of the game. And then somewhere on the next drive, they decided, you know what? We just going to do what we did last year and throw bubble screens all day.
I didn't like the bubble screens. I didn't like I mean, because that was like literally me and Matt were sitting right there. Like literally happening right in front of us. Keon Coleman. Why? Then Kincaid. Why are we doing these screens to them when one, Kincaid is not the best tight end for a screen? There should be Knox.
Exactly.
That's the best tight end for the screen.
Yep.
And then Coleman, you got 2 guys with non-movability, and you throw them a screen. What if to create something out of nothing?
Exactly.
Okay, no, we're not doing that.
Look, the other part of this too is to your point, you have Jackson Halls now. So if you wanted Knox to catch the ball out there and you were worried about having proper blocking on that side, just put Halls out there and let Knox be the one you throw to. But anyway, I think the idea that Kincaid is this pass catching tight end, they refuse to use him the way that other teams use him, but they still don't see him as a traditional blocking tight end. So they try to find some place in the middle for him, some very uncreative place in the middle for Dalton Kincaid.
Yeah, he was trying yesterday. You see when he get tossed up by Woozy?
Wait. I think so.
I don't know if they showed it on TV because I watched it. I don't know if they showed the full thing on TV because, I mean, like literally.
When he was trying to block?
Well, after the whistle went.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
Man, I was like, who that? He got tossed. I said, wow, okay. Well, okay, yeah. He's in there. Evidently, he was doing that all night. So, you know, it just came to a head.
Yeah. So, look, here's the point I want to get out. And I think everything that we're about to talk about today is falling under this umbrella, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that is the win that we saw today. And I'm going to use Damaris's term because to me, it's the most perfect way that I could say this.
Go for it.
Right? What we saw the Bills do last night is not scalable. Right? For those of you that don't understand the word, or not in the context of this conversation, the word scalable is a business term. And for something to be scalable, it has to be something that you can repeat and grow and build upon over and over and over and over an extended period of time. That's what scalable in the business sense means, right? So bringing it back to the football conversation now, what the Buffalo Bills did last night for most of the game was get their brains beat in, right? And it is as hard as they tried to stop the run, as hard as the safeties tried to take proper angles, as hard as the DBs tried to cover Zay Flowers, as hard as it looked for the defense to make really any impact until that last drive for the Ravens. This was a situation where if you play every game like this, you're not guaranteed an outcome of Josh Allen putting the cape on and beating the Ravens pretty much by himself for the last 4 minutes of that game. That's what's not scalable about all this, right? Now, here's what I will give the Bills. I will give the Bills the pass rush. The pass rush looked really good.
I didn't think so.
Okay,
I really did.
I thought they got through a lot, and here's what I mean, because it wasn't elite from a pure pass rush standpoint. What I saw last night that I didn't see from this team for the last few years was guys getting through consistently.
See, that's the thing. I think Ed Oliver was a man child yesterday.
Yeah,
and that's the long time coming for me. I've been saying forever.
Sure.
Ed Oliver, and everyone's like, "What are you talking about?" He finally. Well, what it was I did some numbers here, and last night they blitzed on 40% of their snaps. They played man 40% of their snaps, and they blitzed on everyone they played man on.
Mm-hmm.
And out of that, Lamar carved them up. I ain't gonna lie to you, because he went 6 of 7 for 102, a touchdown and a sack. The sack was Ed Oliver. They tried to stunt Milano lost the stunt, but Ed Oliver just bull rushed. He got in there. And Lamar had nowhere to go, so that I'm smiling. I can't even get my thoughts out, because he was in there, boy. I mean,
I loved it too. I'm not gonna lie. That was dope.
But I mean, it's just, Ed Oliver was playing like, this is my team. And see, that's what I was talking about when I was talking about, talking with Tommy and talking to people that talking about we need to bring in veteran leadership. There it is right there. There it is right there.
Yeah.
You got your second contract guy. You got Daquan Jones. You got, guys that can mentor the younger boys.
Mm.
You don't need Ogunjobi. I'm not going to say Hoyt because I still like him, but I'm not, you don't need those, because you have them in house.
Yeah.
You have them in house. And people, when I think I sent it this morning or earlier today when I was in the Discord, and I said, somebody mentioned Parsons. I said, see, Bosa is the reason why you couldn't get Parsons. You got Ogunjobi's the reason why you couldn't get Parsons, because you couldn't fit him under the cap. And everybody, would it be an offer? It doesn't matter what he offered, because you couldn't fit him under the cap anyway.
Right.
Because Rousseau is going to be a massive dead cap because of the fact he just resigned. Epinesa, sure, but that's not going to get you over the top. Yeah. But all these other little moves you made are a detriment. And what you saw last night, and I didn't mean to pee on your cornflakes with the pass rush, but I think that's the only negative mark I had on the team yesterday. Well, the defense in itself was pretty lackluster, but what I noticed about them was that they played a lot of man. I noticed that they blitzed. Mm-hmm. I noticed that they had 6-man fronts. I noticed they had 5-man fronts.
Stunt, bro.
Exactly.
They ran a stunt.
So I think that's what marred me, because I watched the game 3 times. I watched it last night, and I watched it 2 more times today to make sure all 22 is out for some reason.
Nice.
I don't know why, but I took advantage of it. Yeah. But, I'm like, okay. And this goes into what I say all the time about the new talent. I say, you got to let them mess up. You got to let them try. Mm-hmm. And Lamar Jackson is not an easy person to try your stuff out on, because I don't know if you guys seen the movie Over the Hedge. Remember Hammy, the little squirrel?
I don't remember the movie, but keep going.
I told Laura. So in this movie, it was about animals who were running. They were trying to forage before the winter came, or whatever case may be. Mm-hmm. And so it was a squirrel named Hammy, and he was super duper hyper, to the point where they wouldn't let him have any kind of sugar at all.
Okay. And
so whatever happened, worst came to worst, they had to rescue one of their friends, a raccoon or whatever. And so they said, okay, this one time
you can have sugar.
You can have sugar. They give him 1 drop, and you saw his eyes get big, and like they zoomed out to the globe, and it slowed down on his axis. and so Hammy is now running around raindrop. He's dipping drops.
Wow.
But that's how Lamar was, because I keep saying this, but I lie to you not. We were sitting probably, I don't know, on the 20-yard line behind the Ravens. So 15-20. So that play where Lamar Jackson scurried out and ran for 30 yards on 3rd and 10, that was right in front of us. And it's like he's so calm about it. Like, he doesn't panic. He's so calm in everything he does. TV doesn't do it justice. And it's like, damn, how? Because you see Bosa getting in there, and he's just setting them up and just knocking them down. I'm like, yo, what do we do against this guy?
Right.
You know, and I really felt like in that game, whoever the last quarterback was that had the ball was going to win that thing. I really did.
Yeah.
And it was funny because I told Mac, I said, you know, when Keon Coleman caught the ball and he got tripped up by Jair, I was like, if Jair was smart, he would have let him score. He should have let him score.
Yeah.
Because that would have given the ball back with 50 seconds and 2 timeouts, down by 5. I'm like, yo, ball game.
Yeah, that's a problem. Yep.
So I think that really, like you said, the defense on the Ravens was threatening, but the Bills defense wasn't. But I got to give a hand to all the receiving. If this is what everybody eats looks like, I will take it. If that's everybody eats,
But see, okay.
It's not, but I will take it.
Right. And that's kind of, so again, this is folding beautifully into my point, which is when you watch the game, and you've watched it 3 times now, in my opinion, it looked much harder for the Bills to move the ball and do what they wanted to do on offense than it did for the Ravens. Right. And I think that's kind of the thing that I think sticks out the most about this game to me is you've got a quarterback like Josh Allen who has proven now, and everybody, and thank you, Dorothy, for sending the links in the Discord chat of other people saying this too, not just me, but Josh solidified himself as the best quarterback in the NFL. He's above Lamar, right? And I think last night proved it in a very key way, right? And the comparison between Josh and Lamar is divided by what I think is one very clear thing, which is Josh's ability to process the game. Josh can process the game at a much higher level than Lamar can in key crunch time moments. And it showed last night, right? The Ravens loss, and I'm going to get back to my point, I promise. The Ravens loss last night was more about the coaching decisions on that last drive to play it safe and Lamar's ability to process the game. As a quarterback, you do not throw the ball shorter than the first down marker on 3rd down and on 3rd and 9, right? You just don't do that unless you plan on going for it on 4th down, right? But then after the game, you get asked, why didn't you go for it on 4th and 3? Well, I had cramps.
This is Harbaugh or Lamar?
Lamar.
Okay.
No, I had cramps. That's why we didn't go for it. Are you serious? Like, if I'm the coach, timeout, get your behind over on the table. We're going to roll you up real quick and we'll get you back out there, and then you're going to run and make a play, period. So that's why most of this is coaching, right? But again, Lamar's ability to process everything that's happening at an elite level like Josh can, he didn't show that last night. And I think that's one of the things that sticks out in a lot of Lamar's losses in the playoffs and in a lot of these crunch time. The Ravens are known for beating themselves, right? But back to my original point. When we're looking at the overarching theme of how hard it was for the Bills to do what they wanted to do in this game, it wasn't until they were running like chickens with their heads cut off in the 4th quarter and Josh is making miracles with his legs and his arm that we really started to see the ball move, right? And the whole game what I'm doing is I'm taking the last 4 minutes and I'm saying, if you just do half of those pass plays earlier in the game, this ain't a blowout we got to come back from. But for some reason, the Bills don't want to do everybody eats in a passing system. They want to do everybody eats in a run first system.
Well, I noticed too last night, there was a lot of plays Josh left on the table. I don't know what his deal is. I really don't. With regards to just taking the play, you know, there was numerous amounts of time where Keon Coleman or especially Kincaid were wide open, and he just didn't throw him the ball. And he ran, or he was running around. I'm like, what are you like? I'm screaming, what are you? He's right there, throw the ball, And for me, like I said before the game, in the offseason, I said, what did I say? I said Keon Coleman. And I'll say it, I'll double down right now. If you don't have him on your fantasy team and you can get him, you better get him now.
Yeah.
Because what I said in the offseason proved true last night. He is the best receiver. Josh looks for him when things break down.
Yeah.
And they break down a lot. And Josh looks for him. And it's no secret now.
Well, that pass, that touchdown pass that got tipped, that wasn't to Coleman. That was to Shakir.
But no, I'm not even talking about that. I'm just talking about everything. I mean, look at all the 2-point conversions they tried. Who they throw to? Coleman. I mean,
if he can get the ball up a little bit more, that's a successful
that pissed
play.
me off. That was way too low. Yeah. I wrote that mother. What? The boys of basketball, throw it up there.
Right.
Let him open it. But no, I mean, it. When you look at last night's game, it was the beautiful culmination of what we were seeing in the offseason. When it comes to everybody saying Coleman's a bust, no, he's not.
No, not at
he's
all.
the biggest. He's going to be the biggest playground receiver you're going to see on his team. Mm-hmm. Not Kincaid, not Shakir, Coleman. Coleman should have all those plays because yesterday he took over. And you said Josh Allen, but no, Palmer took over. Coleman took over. Shakir made big plays. They made big, even Elijah Moore got in there last night. I don't know what that was about. So, and I did research because I think it was Dorothy in the Discord said we got to talk about the play calling. Mm-hmm. If you want, I don't know if you want to do that, because if you want to do that, we gotta condemn Josh, because Josh audible 60 to 70% of the plays yesterday. Mm-hmm. He was calling the plays basically. Mm-hmm. So if you don't like the play calling, what was the real call versus what did Josh switch to? And that's the thing, and you can hear my voice is going because I was there last night, but and it worked. But what happened was it seemed like they were selling to that pocket that they had last year when Josh said this is boring, taking what's given. And I mean, he was dinking and dunking everywhere, and it was Yak Gardner, Coleman making circus catches. It was beautiful. Mm-hmm. And like you said, had they did that earlier, we wouldn't have had that issue.
Right.
But I think too, you got to remember, Lamar only threw 19 times yesterday. Mm-hmm. He only threw it 19 times, 73% completion ratio, and he had 209 yards passing.
He really didn't need to throw.
He didn't have to throw. He ran. Yeah. He made plays with his legs. He had 3 touchdowns to Josh's 4. It was a hell of a competition. Yeah. This was a spectacle. It was an exhibition of excellence. These are the 2 premier quarterbacks in this league right now.
Right.
And there's no dispute that you can have Josh one, you can have Lamar. I don't care.
Right.
Those are the 2. And then, I was talking to Mac last night, and he said, the top 3. He said, when you said it last year, I didn't agree with you. When you said Lamar and Josh, the top 2, he said, I didn't agree. But now I think about it. He said, I put Burrow up there with them, but those are the top 2 best. I said, my guy. That's it. I mean, I'll take Burrow because Burrow will throw for 400 yards. He won't run.
No.
But he throws it. Josh throws and runs. Lamar runs. He can throw. Mm-hmm. But, oh, God, my voice was like this all day. I feel like it. I feel like it's going to be bad.
We got plenty of time today.
We do. But, yeah, so I'm going to have a key wiser.
I don't know what that is. I have no idea what that is.
Just a polar saucer. That's all. Nothing hard. Nothing. Just regular.
Right.
But no, when I sat there last night and I watched and I said, you know what? Okay, if this is everybody eats, 125, what was 112 for Keon. Mm-hmm. You had 60 plus for Shakir, 60 plus for Kincaid. You had 50 something for Cook. Yeah. I mean, he spread it around, and everybody said Cook. Okay, he had 102 yards of total offense.
Right.
What else do you want? That's on paper 1,700 yards. Yep. I looked it up just for itches and giggles. It was funny. Josh Allen is projected to have 782 passing attempts and 6,700 yards
in this game.
No, in the season.
Oh, in the season,
6,700 yards. That's what I mean. Obviously,
based off the projections
from yesterday. Gotcha. But I mean, still 34 yards, 34 touchdowns. You got to come up on that, my boy.
Yeah,
we're gonna need like 60.
Yeah. Well, no, you know what, and that's kind of the crazy part is we're gonna end up at the bye. Week 7 is the bye. We're gonna end up at the bye undefeated. I'll read you the schedule real quick. We got the Jets in New York next week. Mm-hmm. That's a win, right? Yeah, they can run the ball, but friggin' Fields is no Lamar, right? So the sacks that Lamar got out of, Justin Fields is taking. Mm-hmm. I hopefully believe that, right? then you got the Dolphins. That's a dub. Then you got the Saints here. That's a dub. Then you got the Patriots here. That's another dub. Then you got the Falcons in Atlanta. That's a dub. Like
Kyle Pitts takes over. If he does, I would never be on the show again. I'll be going.
No. He had a good game, but
I know, but I don't have him on my fantasy teams anymore. I stopped on purpose.
Look, So if somebody can clearly express to me how the Bills lose any of these next 5 games, I'm willing to listen. But it'd be very hard for me to accept it.
Yeah, I think one of those is going to be a loss only because just the law of averages. Just the law of averages. So like when I project scores and I don't know who they're playing, I'm like, okay, 7-0. I'm scared. No, that don't sound right. Let me put a loss in there somewhere.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Is there a team in here that the Bills can lose to that isn't supremely disappointing in these next 5 games? Jets, Dolphins, Saints, Patriots, Falcons.
Yeah, and I was telling Mel yesterday, I was like, he's like, the Jets and MetLife, Josh doesn't play well there. I said, that's cool, but I just have a feeling like the rest of the team's going to show up. I have a feeling that they're maybe not defense, because we have to figure that part out. But the offense, I don't want no more on offense. I don't need no more right now. I'm excited about what I saw yesterday on offense. Defense, I got a lot of questions, a lot of concerns, but that we'll save that for another day or another hour.
Okay.
In an hour from now. But yeah, no, I really, if they lose one of these games, if they drop 2 of these games, it's going to be for a reason of some sort. Somebody's hurt, or they just took them too lightly. But I don't see a team that's better than Bills. No, I just think that in that 7-game stretch somewhere, somebody's going to have our number. I don't know who. I wouldn't put any money on who it is or whatever. Sean said Falcons maybe.
Yeah. I mean, look, I think the Bills have played good games in Atlanta. They beat Matt Ryan in Atlanta. This would have been 4 years ago when Poyer and Hyde were still here. That was a great game, but that was one of those games where we were still kind of up and coming, and the Falcons were a few years removed from a Super Bowl appearance, and you know what I'm saying? So it was like 2 good teams playing, but the Bills pulled that one out.
Yeah, that was that year when everybody's like, oh, we got Denver, we got Atlanta. They're all like, you can't go off last. And that's what I realized. You can't go off last year, because I think that was the year after Atlanta lost the Super Bowl game. I believe it was a year after, because that was a juggernaut schedule that turned into a dud.
So that would have been 2020?
Maybe.
Yeah,
maybe.
I think that was 2020. Yeah, because at that point in time, we weren't like nobody was looking at us like
we were.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. So the schedule is what it is. It's the 6th easiest schedule in the league. My point in bringing this up is, if the Bills are undefeated at the bye, I think everybody is kind of, wiping off a pretty good amount of the stink from what was wrong with this game, right? And somebody said in chat earlier, a win is a win is a win. My response to that, and I promise we're going to get to a bunch of comments here.
Yes, we will.
We're trying to get these points out so that we can get to that.
We have time today. You guys bring it, we'll stay.
Yep.
Not past 8:30, but we'll stay.
I appreciate that, because I got to eat dinner.
I ain't eat yet either. I was in my phone like.
So this idea that a win is a win is a win, right? The Chiefs were saying that all last season, and they were 15-2,
mm-hmm.
And it looked great, because as a Chiefs fan, it's like, I don't give a damn how bad we look. A dub is a dub is a dub, until you get in front of the Eagles and you need to be able to perform like everybody thinks you can, and you don't. And I think this game was kind of a microcosm of, we expected the team, namely the defense, to perform a lot better. You invested what you invested onto the defensive line to make sure that you could handle things like what came at you last night. And instead of performing at least like you did in the playoff game, like if the Bills had come out last night and performed against the run like they did in the playoff game, we're not scrambling in 4 minutes to win this game. I think we win the game pretty easily if we shut the run down like that for most of the game, like we did in the playoff game. But the difference is you have $1.5 million in cap space right now, and your defense looked like it looked last night. And for this team, I get that it's week 1, But the reason that you didn't play most of your starters was because you were practicing harder. The reason you didn't play most of your starters was because you were doing extra things behind the scenes to make sure that you were ready for this game. And you said that. So don't tell me that, oh, they're just working out the kinks and blah, blah, blah. No, they went through lengths to make sure that they were ready for week 1, including not giving us an injury report on Trey White, knowing he wasn't going to play, still trying to make it seem like he was going to play, then said he had a groin when they initially said it was a lower leg injury. Like, somebody tell me where all of this is supposed to immediately equal to, it's fine, we can let it go. A win is a win. No. Because in the playoffs, you're going to have to see this team or another one of these good teams with a good quarterback again. And what's going to happen when you start performing defensively like you did last night?
I think the Chiefs can say that because they've been in the playoffs. They've been in the Super Bowl, almost every year of Mahomes being there. They've been in AFC championships every year.
And they've won them. That's the difference.
So they can say that, because they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
We don't have the satisfaction of knowing what the plan is. We don't have a blueprint in Buffalo. We just have a hope. So when you say a win is a win is a win, that's cool. I mean, I get it. I sent out in the Discord. I sent the chills when they run out with the thing and this and all that. I feel all the feels.
Right.
And that's why I hate doing this show after a game like that.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. I'm like, there's no way Key's coming on the show talking any kind of bad about this stuff they was doing in the first 3 quarters.
I have bad. I do have bad. And the thing is, when you segregate the fourth quarter, the offense was lackluster.
Yeah.
The offense was flat. The defense was trying hard. They couldn't figure it out. Mm-hmm. But the good things I will say about, well, actually, let me say bad things about defense first. Defense first, they didn't have pass rush. They didn't get a pressure. They had 1 sack.
You talking about like collectively, or
yeah.
Okay?
Yeah, right. They didn't get it. They didn't get the sack. They had Bishop rushing from his native position, not even bringing him creeping up to the line. They had him rush from a true free safety.
Mm-hmm.
That ain't gonna work on Lamar Jackson.
Well, so people that were watching the game like you did for a second or third time, whatever, they mentioned this on the morning show too. What the Ravens during the game were snapping the ball sooner than they normally would, so they were trying to catch the Bills still in their disguise before they can adjust, to whatever time was on the play clock and actually blitz if they were going to blitz, get closer to the line or whatever the case may be. So they what they said was that particular play, Bishop was supposed to be starting to cheat right. up, later on. Right. At that point, look, and this is the other part. This is the other part that bothers me about having a team full of B+ players, because in that moment, an A+ player is like, oh, I'm caught off guard. Let me adjust. Mm-hmm. Not let me try and blitz from way back here. Right. An A+ player would know that's not gonna work. I gotta do something a little different, right? And I get that it's Bishop, and I get that he's a young guy, but that seems like something that Rapp would have did. It seems like something Hamlin would have did, right? And I mean, for all intents and purposes, we don't know whether or not Hancock would have done it, so we can include him in that too. We got 4 safeties that more than likely probably would have still blitzed. Why? Because that's what's coached into them. It's coached into them to just do what you're asked to do and no more. Mm-hmm. You don't have to think. The only person on the field that has to think is Josh Allen. That's it. But this is what happens when you kind of put your players in a box like that.
Yeah, I mean, it was an expose almost. Yeah. If you're talking about the D line as a whole, you had Ed Oliver and Daquan Jones, who were the older statesmen. They're the old heads on the D line. Well, yeah, actually they are. And they were on the field every time Derrick Henry got off. They were on the field for all of them. So when I watched the game, I said, oh man, you can't have Sanders and Watson together, or not Watson, Walker together. Mm-hmm. But when I watched it back, I said, oh wait, they weren't even on the field. That was our older guys that are getting torched by this gap in the middle, which is okay, and in the essence that your linebacker is supposed to clean that up. But this is Derrick Henry. You see, he dribbled Cole Bishop off the field last night. And was it embarrassing? No, you're just another trophy on the wall. You're another notch on the belt. Right. At this point, this is a norm. Don't even hang your head on it. Just don't get a concussion in the process. But no, when I watched Bosa came off the edge and he tried the bull rush. He had a swim once he tried, and Lamar just got out of there. So maybe he did have pressure, but it wasn't good enough because Lamar just got out of there. Rousseau was okay on the edge. He had a bat down or two. Solomon had him on the sideline when he scrambled to the side and just launched to the end zone. Solomon and TJ Sanders was in there as well. But that's the thing. I watched the game when they had Sanders and Walker in there. Guess who got double teamed? Sanders. Every time. So I tried to find, could I find how many times he got double teamed yesterday? I'm like, but I thought Walker was supposed to be that guy. I told you he's not a one tech. So if you put Sanders out there with Ed Oliver, you have a better. You got one or the other is going to go. Yeah. And that's what you want. One or the other. The offensive line's got to decide which one do you want to sacrifice.
Right.
But I think Daquan Jones was okay. Not great. Not even good. He was okay. Deion Walker, he's got to go back to the factory, have some things tinkered with because he's got a couple of factory resets that need to be checked out.
Playing with some bad leverage.
Yeah. He's got, like Oliver said, ballerina legs. It's going to catch you.
Yeah.
You got to be able to squat something.
Adam says if it was not for the Ravens coaching staff, it would have been a loss. Better hope they don't see the Ravens again. They won't get lucky 3 times in a row. I agree with the point as a whole. I wouldn't say it was luck. I do think that Harbaugh, while he is a special teams coach by trade, he has kind of taken on more of a defensive mindset when it comes to this team. They've always been strong on defense. They covet having a strong defense. It's a part of their identity. It's a part of their culture in that building there. So when it comes to decisions like going for it on 4th and 3 at your own, I think it was like somewhere between the 30 and the 40. 9 times out of 10, he's going to lean towards being safe. And I think that's part of the reason why under Harbaugh, they only have the 2 Super Bowls, is it just the one?
One.
Yeah, I think it's the one with Flacco.
Yeah.
So that's why, even though he's been with the team as long as he has, only 1 Super Bowl, right?
Brian Billick before.
Okay, so I mean, do I want to see this team in the playoffs again? No. Do I think they're going to have a killer instinct? It depends on the situation. Because
I would love for the Chiefs to go through them because they're not going to beat them. I don't think the Chiefs would beat
go to the Ravens.
Yeah, I don't think they beat them.
It depends because what we saw against the Chargers was no Worthy and no Rashee Rice. You know what I mean? So their top 2 options are gone. We still don't know what that team is going to look like. I'm reserving judgment for the Chiefs right now, but the Chargers, that's one of them teams I don't want to see, like, ever.
Play them this year?
No, not
Dang
unless
I want to play them.
I know if they get in the playoffs and we'll see them. But man, that defense looks good, and their pass game, it looks like it's coming along, but I don't think I've ever really respected a Greg Roman passing offense.
Why would you?
Yeah, exactly.
Lamar, how you feel? Tyrod, how you feel? Tell me about it.
Exactly. Sean says, he says, I get what y'all are saying, but name a team that wins perfect every game.
I want to go back to Adam's point though before you go.
Sure.
Yeah. Adams to the Ravens coaching staff. I can one up you. Had it not been for the fumble flipped the whole game around. When they finally got Derrick Henry to be mortal, they got him off the field. I think that was the momentum shift right there, because before that, that's when everybody was just filing out. And you were like, you texted, you like, were y'all still there? Like, yeah, hell yeah, I was still there. Hell yeah. But I mean, when I tell you how many times I moved out of that aisle so people could pass by, I've had enough. I can't do this anymore. Come back. That's the thing for me. Like, for me, that's what it was. It might have been a coach's stab, but I just feel like that fumble was probably weighted heavily.
No, let's go with that. Let's go with that. So let's take it a step further than that, though, because what you're getting to, and this is another one of the things that I wanted to get to. This is
look at how we go. Look how we do it. We don't talk about this before we do the show.
Not at all. But what you're talking about is a part of something that I brought up a few weeks ago, which is the concept of convergence, right? The concept of a multiple amount of things, a numerous amount of things needing to happen kind of all at once at a point of convergence in order for a certain outcome to come about, right? And it was the fumble, yes, but it was also the decision before that to not run their regular offense and be aggressive, right? You run the play that you ran on first down. On second down, you go to run it, which is a very conservative call and not typically the way that the Ravens had been running the ball all game long. And I think at that point, it was only the second time in the game where Ed Oliver had gotten that kind of penetration on a run play, right? So you've had the whole game to kind of figure out what run plays work and which ones don't. And instead of going with something that you know is going to give you an opportunity to get into the open field and make a play, you go with something that you feel is more safe. That's a coaching decision, right? But you combine that with the fumble, you combine that with the players, the Ravens players kind of not, I guess it's kind of tough to blame any other player other than the receiver that was there for not getting to the ball. You know what I'm saying? The fumble. But you, in a game like that where you have the lead and all you're trying to do is eat clock, you need to be cognizant of all that kind of stuff. You see the ball going on the ground, there's nobody in the world that should be able to stop you from getting to that ball. And the guy had a Bills player coming at his knees, so he's trying to back off the Bills. Forget that. I'm diving over the guy. Like, what am I saving myself for? Do we want the number 1 seed or not? Right? But again, all of this goes to there were a number of things that happened in that game, both earlier in the game that led to this, the missed field goal kick, right? Because if that I'm sorry, the extra point, if the extra point doesn't get missed, it's only a tie game. Mm-hmm. And the Ravens get to win the coin toss like teams usually do against the Bills, and then go down and score, and then now we're in sudden death mode. So I mean, look, we're not trying to say that the Bills need to win perfect every time. What we're saying is, if the Bills are going to live up to all of the hype that has surrounded them for years now, and if they are going to live up to the Super Bowl caliber predictions that people have been giving them for the last several years, then the product on the field needs to look a lot better than an S on Josh's chest with 4 minutes left in the game. And it should be consistent game in and game out against any competition. I could understand, you know what? I think I would be less bothered if every game looks like the Rams game from last year, where it's just a complete shootout, or the Lions game. If every game looked like that, I'd say, you know what? Sign me up. I don't care, because at the end of the day, I look at my quarterback the same way the Bengals look at their quarterback. If it's a shootout, I got this. If it's a shootout, I can do that, because I know I can win a shootout with the Chiefs. The Bengals have done it. The Bills, in 13 seconds, you could say they did it. You know what I'm saying? To a degree, against the best competition. That's kind of what I'm talking about, is being able to go toe-to-toe and move the ball when you need to move the ball against the best competition. If the Bills go to New York and they struggle to move the football again, I think there's going to be a lot more people asking questions about the offense. But why can't we ask those questions now? That's kind of my point.
Yeah, I don't have them. Like, I got to see, it's like you said, it's one game. So what I saw last night, I'm encouraged by, but I have to see it again to solidify what I think.
So the fact that it was so tough for the Bills to move the ball last night, that doesn't bother you at all? No, because when I was at the game and I saw what they were missing, what he was missing in the beginning was what he was hitting in when it mattered. A lot of the plays that he left on the field in the first quarter, 2 quarters, were what won us the game in the fourth quarter. Like I said, the throws he wasn't making are what he was making in the fourth. Like that throw to Josh Palmer, I was open in the first quarter or two. I saw it a couple of times. Keon Coleman was pretty much quiet and for a little bit, but then when it really mattered, he turned it on. And you're throwing high balls. Coleman's going up and grabbing it. It's like, this is what we want to see.
This is what I'm looking at. Like
but you gotta get permission to do that.
But see, that's the thing.
that's kind of my point. You gotta get permission to do that.
I forgot. Matt wanted me to tell you.
What? This is gonna be good.
Yeah, it is. He said, remember back when A said that McDermott had to have Carhartts and work boots?
Yeah.
He said no Jordans. He said, wasn't McDermott wearing Jordans when he drove to Zamboni? He was.
Was he?
Wow. And then he had them one again in one of the episodes of Hard Knocks.
Really? Wait, were they team supplied Jordans though? Were they team? Because that ain't nothing that Sean is gonna wear on his own.
Not on his own.
Yeah.
Had his sun brim and all that.
Nah. I'm certain somebody put those in his locker.
Huh. Buck the narrative.
Right.
No, we were just having a good laugh about it because it's like he's like, I didn't want to say it, but he did have those. I was like, yo, you're right. Let me look at it. He did. We had a laugh. But no, like I said, when I need Josh, and you said the S on the chest, a lot of it is like, okay, they were schemed up. I saw the play. Maybe you didn't. Maybe it wasn't the right read. Maybe it wasn't the progression that you had. But I'm like, man, now you breaking down. The play is over. Now you're scanning.
Yeah.
And like I said, Knox, right hand man. Coleman, right hand man. Kincaid, no, never mind that one. Kincaid, he's like, I'm supposed to do 5 steps. Where's the ball? Never mind, I'm stopping. And it's like you watch Josh where you like, don't take that hit. Don't take the hit. Please don't. Okay, you took the hit. And then they I guess John Harbaugh sent 3 plays to the league for review, where he said there was a missed call or something. I want to know what those plays are.
I mean, there was plenty of missed calls on the Ravens too. That touchdown that Cook should have had when he got freaking face mask down. Like let's just be real. Like that should have been a 53-yard receiving touchdown. That's what that should have been.
That was man. It was funny because when we were sitting there and on Cook's touchdown, the guy behind me, he had a couple too many. Like,
really?
Oh, he was screaming out, Josh Allen, touch push. He said like 12 times in a row. I'm like, yo, fam. Then he put on a vuvuzela.
Oh my!
I was like, Mel looked at me like, you seeing this? I'm like, I'm seeing it. So he's like, I'm like, let him cook. Let him cook. He's like, the hell are you talking about? I said, let him cook. Touchdown, Cook. I said, that's what I'm talking about. Let James cook. So when you talk about that catch, I mean, I was like, man, I mean, he took that thing, and I mean, that's the kind of player everybody's talking about Ray Davis last year with that Jets play. I'm like, no, he made somebody like he caught the ball, stiff arms Roquan Smith, outruns 3 other guys, jukes a guy, then gets over there and gets like, the back of his head pulled off his shoulders, but whatever. Yeah. I mean, that's excitement. That's football in the Bills' degree, and I loved it.
Okay, so I'm sorry, bro. I feel like I have to say this.
You have to say it because it's your show. Go ahead.
I think because you went to the game last night, you're in your fandom right now. I think you're here. I
got other stuff.
I know you do. Of course, I know you're an analyst, so I know you can pull it out your butt whenever you need to. But here's why I say this. Here's why I say this. The how can I say this? The idea that, okay, perfect example. So you've talked about how you are at work, right? When you're at work, there's a standard, no excuses. This is what I expect from you. If I get this, we got to have a talk, right? I think as an analyst, and I kind of am always in that mode when I'm watching the team now, because that's kind of just how I think, right? I probably will not be in my fandom until we get to a Super Bowl, right? I was in my fandom a little bit when I was doing the pregame show with Tommy yesterday. I was kind of feeling it. I was around a bunch of Bills fans and stuff like that. It was, the vibe was there, right? Yeah. But when I'm watching this team and I'm just kind of looking at some of the stuff that people are saying about, what we're talking about now in terms of, you guys expect them to be perfect every game and talking about, when I'm saying that, the Chiefs didn't have their 2 best weapons in week 1. Here's Tuasai saying what exactly did Worthy do last year. Here's the bottom line for that. My expectation of the team is on 11. And I think it should be because of the success that we've had. In my mind, there should always be a next step for this team to be working towards. And I think what has bothered me this entire time, even last night, is when I see the bubble screen, and then after that I see a run play, and then after that I see another a receiver screen to a tight end this time, 3 consecutive plays in a row in the first half of a game that looks like the other team might be getting the upper hand on you. That to me screams of you're not learning.
Yeah.
You're not adjusting. You're not. And for me to have the expectation that I have, I'm looking at what's happening as, okay, the Bills are here, right? And the Bills being here means they get to the playoffs every year. They make it to the occasional AFC championship game. That's good. Yes, that's good, right? And that's it's perfectly fine to enjoy here. But when you have the quarterback that you have, you should be here. And instead of trying to do both enjoying being here, but also having the expectation to be here, like I've seen other Super Bowl winning teams fan bases have, I'm staring in the faces of people's comments, talking about how I need to calm down, talking about how I need to stop shitting on the team, talking about how, like, what I don't understand is how you can look at the team as an analyst and not say that there are a ton of things that need to be better about this team.
Oh, for sure. I mean, there are a lot of things, but I mean, when I sit there and I'm, like I said, this is all about offense. Defense, you're going to see Keyshawn come out, but offensively, you got to think about it. I said,
Spin said I left early.
Spin, you were there. You ain't look me up. I ain't know you were there.
I left at 6:30 because I was trying to get home in time to watch the game.
You left early.
Yeah, I was. Remember the Reese T10 is in Prohibition's parking lot.
No, I thought Spin said he left early. I'm like, why you leave? But I didn't realize. Okay, so no, this is kind of where my thinking comes from. When you tell me you signed Elijah Moore, what are you bitching about? So what? Josh Palmer, an afterthought in LA. Keon Coleman, a bust. Secure, just a slot. That's all he is, right? And then you make the plays that Josh Allen has 3 seconds per throw to make a decision. 3 seconds. He had time to find somebody. You know, he just sat back there and he said, boom, boom, boom. I mean, these guys are making plays left and right.
Yeah.
And I didn't expect that. So when I see that and I hear everybody eats, we put up 500 yards of offense. Everybody eats. That's everybody eats. Not the high is 47 yards and 6 catches. I don't want that.
Right.
Yesterday, what I begged for when the whole stupid hat of everybody eats comes out and the we're doing this. That was what I wanted, and that was a good defense.
Yeah. So
the defense let me know our offense isn't as bad as I thought. So when I saw them running around against Kyle Hamilton and Malachi Starks and Wiggins and Jair making them look stupid, I'm like, yes.
Well, okay. So to be fair though, because it looked good on TV, right? Until you get to the all 22 and you see there was open guys. But here's the other part of that too: is Josh Allen wasn't hitting guys on time.
I know.
Right? He was standing back there and he was waiting for certain things to come open that weren't coming open.
Right.
That to me is an indicator that what's supposed to be happening on the outside isn't happening, right? And seam wise, it didn't seem like, based on what you're saying and based on a lot of the stuff that I saw, the seam stuff was there, right? He just wasn't taking it because it was all shorter stuff. He wanted the outside guys, right? Stuff, yeah. And when that's not flowing and you're a quarterback that likes to make things happen, you break out of the pocket, you stress the defense, which gets those outside guys open. So again, this is why I say what we saw last night is not scalable. And Sean, to your point, Sean Kula, I don't think that everything that happened last night was bad. I'll get to the positive stuff, but when we're talking about something that we can repeat over an extended period of time, last night was not it. You get what I'm saying? Like Josh breaking out of the pocket every single time. Teams aren't going to let him do that after a while. Oh my God.
Yeah, there you go. I just looked down like, it's me still.
Right.
My bad. I'm getting better.
Yeah, I'm gonna need that. But teams aren't gonna let you do that all season long. You know what I'm saying? We saw it last year. It was tough for Josh to break out of the pocket and scramble right or scramble at all, right? So, look, in terms of what needs to be addressed from the negative side, we're getting that out of the way. We got
I didn't start yet.
2 hours left.
I didn't start yet because my negative is on defense. So
okay,
I'm gonna park on the positive right now.
Yeah, and that's fair. For while we're on offense, I did want to say this. One of the things that I said in the pregame show was the Bills needed to run the ball against this defense, and they would have a good amount of success against the Ravens defense that has been bad against the run for the last couple of years. And one of the things that I really did appreciate seeing is Josh under center. We saw an off what is it? I forget the name. Off I formation.
No pistol. No. That's I know what you're talking
about. But anyway, like we saw Josh under center, and that's one of the things that I think I've been dying to see for years now. Is they're doing it in the run game. Can you just give me two pass plays a game of Josh under center? Can you give me two? Because at that point, you're putting it in the defense's mind that they can't always expect when Josh is under center to see a run. Just throw a little something in there to keep him off guard, and then keep going back to that I formation run game. Pretty much every time they did that, Cook was busting off for 9-yard runs. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, this dude is slicing and dicing this defense, and it looked great. And somehow we decided that because Josh is not comfortable being under center, that we're gonna run more runs from shotgun than we are up under center, which showed that it was working the entire game. Every time they did it, they were ripping off 5 yards, between 5 and 9 yards. Mm-hmm. So I did enjoy that. I really appreciated that. In terms of the plays that Josh made, the Josh we saw last night is the Josh I want to see the entire game, all season long. You know what I mean? Let him drop back, let him make plays, let him make audibles, let him do whatever he's going to do. The dink and dunk, taking with the defense, give you stuff. That was good for Josh in years 1 through 4 or 5, when he hadn't yet seen everything and teams were able to still fool him, and he was more likely to throw interceptions than not. But last year and now this year, with the amount of passes he threw in this game, and to not have thrown an interception, you got to let that kid run, man. You got to let him run. You got to let him do what he going to do, because now he's shown you that he can play at an elite level for an extended period of time and not turn the ball over. Let him go.
Yeah, I think he's a paradox, because I think he likes to be able to create, but he also likes that safe stuff as well. So it's like a flare. It's almost like, I don't know. I don't even know how to equate it. A layup in basketball, a 360 layup. It's flare, but it's not the height of risk. So Josh, he is home. He's home, and his skill set doesn't match with what he likes, what he's comfortable in, and that's the thing. He doesn't like to scramble. He doesn't like he likes. He doesn't like the play action. He doesn't like the bootlegs. He doesn't like that stuff. But that's what you think he does. You think he's a deep ball thrower because he has a strong arm. Mm-hmm. But none of that stuff is what he does. He's more of a traditional minded guy until things break down. He's like, I'm gonna go out here, And I don't know if you saw the stat in the first half. I think 41% of his passes were behind the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
So, that's by design. If you keep in mind also that Josh supposedly audible or called maybe 60% of the plays, that's what he wanted. That's what he liked. Those are the looks he liked. Mm-hmm. They just don't run, because Mel kept saying, why aren't they going this way? Stop going across, but go this way. I'm like, you don't want to do that.
Right.
They never do, and I respect it. But now I see why they built it the way they did. I would like some better quality players than Elijah Moore. Mm-hmm. But I think this offense is highlighted for a Keenan Coleman. It's highlighted for I'll say it, even a Gabe Davis kind of guy. And that ties into where I was going last. I didn't get to last show when I was going to ask you guys, and you especially, out of all the retreads that we got, which one is the one that you like the most? Tre'Davious, Gabe, Phillips, Dane, those guys. For me, I think it had to be Gabe. That's the one that I'm like,
really?
Okay.
See, I actually liked what I saw from Josh last night, from Josh Palmer.
Joshua Palmer, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like everything we saw out of Josh Palmer last night is exactly what he was doing in LA. He just didn't get the ball.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's a different offense, yeah.
Yeah, it's completely different offense. But I mean, look, if you're telling me that Coleman can go out and get 5 catches for 80 yards every game, let's just say he averages that. If Coleman can average 5 for 80 a game, and let's say Palmer gets 6 for 95, right? I will take that every game, because you combine that with whatever Shakir is going to get, whatever Kincaid is going to get, and whatever Cook is going to run for, and then you include into that whatever Josh is going to scramble for. Yeah, that's at least 300 yards of offense a game.
Also, if you put 95 on Palmer and would you say
5 for 80
on, that's over 1,000 yard season for both of them.
Right.
So if that's everybody eats,
that's a 4,000 yard season. If you're getting Shakir his looks too.
If that's everybody eats,
right.
Let's do it.
That's kind of my point. Is we saw last night that against what everybody widely regards as an extremely talented defense, even if it was week 1, they looked good against us. Right, until the last 4 minutes of the game, they looked good against us, and we're considered to be arguably the best team in the league right now. So if that's the case, what we did offensively against that defense is going to look that much better as we get into next. Oh man, I appreciate that. Shine. Thank you very much. We'll get to that question in 1 second. What we did last night against that defense, if we do that to these next 5 teams and we're undefeated, people are going to be talking about us like we're the toast of the town. Like, shut it all down. Bills are going to the Super Bowl. They look like the Eagles looked last year. They destroying other teams' quarterbacks on defense. The pass rush is amazing. Like, these are all the things we're going to hear, right? Offensively, they're scoring all these points. Great. But just don't let it look like Josh has to put the cape on. Let's do that throughout the course of the game. I guess that's really all I'm saying is I enjoyed watching the air show in the last 4 minutes. And I'm thinking to myself, if we had this the entire game, this is probably a blowout in the Bills' favor.
I've given up on the air show. I've given up.
I know you kind of have to at this point.
Yeah, and Sweat. Okay, I won't say Gabe Davis. What about Gabriel Davis?
Oh, God. Can we just not talk about Gabe Davis, period?
I don't really feel
please.
But I will tell you, it was nice seeing Jordan Poyer. Big Dubs! It was nice.
Okay.
It was nice.
All right, let's get to this question from Shine. Says, Bills won. Any doubt of who MVP is now? That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Dropping bombs on the Ravens today. There is no more debate. There is no more nothing. It's all set in stone now. Josh is on top of the league. Period. Nobody else can do what he does right now. Nobody else can sling it like he sling it. Nobody else can run it like he run it with the power that he has. Nobody else has the combination of being able to process, run, and throw the ball with accuracy and anticipation whenever he wants. He is the best quarterback in the NFL right now. Period.
I gotta address Shotters in blue. He said Bet Flowers won't be waving that. I'm here again. Why not? He had 7 for 143 and a touchdown. He can wave.
Yeah,
he can wave.
Yeah, if he really wants to.
He can wave. I mean, they lost, but he can wave. I mean, there's a lot of guys in that game that can wave. I mean, had Derrick Henry not fumbled, he could have waved because he tore us to shreds. He also, I think, lost the game, but that's why I said he won the game for him and he lost the game for him.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I Prater. Okay, let's not do this.
Prater, no, we got to get to Prater too.
I'm gonna do it, but I don't want to do it because I did research on this.
Okay.
Kickers over 40. You know what the highest field goal made number is for kickers over 40?
45 yards.
Well, I mean, the number in a game. So 5.
Oh, 5 field goals.
5 field goals made for somebody over. Yeah,
that's all they got energy for.
He had 3. And he's like 80 something, games wise, because a guy started for teams.
Okay.
But I'm like, okay, how much did they really kick in their 40s? How many guys are actually there? Morton Anderson, right. Guys like that. I'm like, okay. Then they showed a picture of him on TV. I said, yo, we're not the same age.
He looks like he's
Tell
70.
the truth. Do I look like him? Don't tell the truth. If the answer is yes, don't tell the truth. God, I was like,
Yo,
is that Phil Collins? Who is this dude kicking?
right before the ball is snapped. I
can see it flying in the air tonight.
Oh my god.
No, I don't. Okay, Prater's cool, but whatever. I mean, yeah, I'd rather have Tyler Bass still.
Yeah, look, you're not getting out of Tyler Bass's contract, so there is none of this. Well, that drove me nuts today too, because there were a lot of people that were calling the radio station saying, "Man, that Prater, man, we should just swap him out. You know, let Bass sit until something happens with Prater. You know, if he starts to break down towards the end of the season, then you can put Bass in there."
He's 41. He already broke down.
Right. His breakdown is right on TV there. It's already happening in front of you. It's only a matter of time.
He had an ice snowsuit after that game. He was all jacked up. Oh.
Yo, did you see him asking the lady for his hat? He was like, I need my hat. Or Sal, I think it was. Sal, he's like, I need my hat. Like, are you cold, sir? You are getting old. You might be a little cold
Where's
right
his
now.
napping blanket?
Tyler Bass is what is it? It's a hip issue for Tyler Bass.
Yeah, hip groin.
Yeah, hip groin issue for Tyler Bass.
He's on IR. Just who was it? Asked for at M Top. I'm sorry, I'm 41. Is a hip groin, so he's on IR. So he has to miss 4 games anyway.
Yep. So he'll be out at least 4 games.
Thank you, Shadows. Wait. How old do I look though? Because you say he looks 60, not 41. Wait, do I look 41? Just gotta ask.
Alton says, while I like Prater, there's no way his old ass is gonna kick field goals in Buffalo winters. Maybe not. I mean, look, the idea here is the Bills are just doing what they have to do right now.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have a lot of cap space, so they go and get probably the cheapest guy that still has enough in him to, you know, kick a few field goals a game. But look, Tyler Bass is thought to be the future here. And I think they like the guy. I think they like his performance. His numbers for all the field goals that were kicked last night are good for Bass. Everything that we saw Prater do, Bass can do.
Yeah, and Mel was like, so where do we have to get to for Prater to hit this? I'm like, the 30. He's like, the 30? I'm like, I mean, he's old. That's still 47 yards. I don't know if you want to go much further than that.
Yeah. You start getting to 50 with a guy that old.
Yeah, his leg going to snap off.
So crazy. We are the same age. We're talking about this guy like he is just out of there.
But I mean, could you imagine being in the NFL right now? You know what happened with my body if I was in that league right now?
I want to shout out to Jack. Appreciate that, Jack. He says, can you speak about how you feel about your owner? Do you want to start this one, or should I?
Yeah, I can start it, or I can finish it, whatever. I think Terry Pegula is a sitting duck, a lame duck owner. He doesn't do anything, doesn't mean anything, doesn't say anything, he just exists. He's like the sugar daddy for Buffalo. Yeah. He just gives them money, pats them on their butt and says, here you go, have at it. Here's your rent. How much is the rent, baby girl? What you gonna do for me? You know, and I think that's about Pegula, because he doesn't know football, he doesn't know hockey,
right? He
doesn't know about architecture, obviously. HSBC Center. So I mean, it's just he's there. He's got money. He's older. He's like, you know what? I'm gonna put my name on stuff, and that's it.
I'm not bringing this name up for any other reason than to prove my point, but I think what we see Pegula doing would have been just about the same thing Trump would be doing, except Trump would be trying to run this team like Jerry Jones does.
Yeah,
from the standpoint of the focus has got to be him. He's going to do all the press conferences. You know what I'm saying? He might hire a GM and all that kind of stuff, but he would definitely be one of those owners that needs to be in the spotlight. Yep. For Terry, it's almost the exact opposite for him. But listen, these big oil guys, whenever you encounter a wealthy guy who you didn't know was wealthy, like a Terry Pegula, it's that way for a reason. Most guys who have billions of dollars like he has, they don't want their name out there to begin with. They like the anonymity. They like being able to walk around without being noticed. Except now he can't do that, right? Because he's Bill's owner, Terry Pegula. Now, when it comes to how he's running this team, excuse me.
Oh man, did I do it? That's a nice dub, right? I dubbed him up.
Right. Sorry about that.
Every time you see him, Hadouken.
Yeah. When it comes to how he's running this team, I think we have to understand that he's running this team like a business. He's not running it like a sports franchise. And I think the same could be said for the Sabres. You have an owner who has not shown interest yet in getting people in the door that fully understand what it takes to win a Super Bowl, that fully understand how to build a culture that is not just winning in the regular season, that is not just, winning a few big time games here and there, but is about winning everything, right? The one thing that I know that I can say about this Bills team that is true so far, but may not always be true, is the front office and the head coach do not have a killer instinct.
No.
If they had a killer instinct, we wouldn't be satisfied with following the process.
Does the team have a killer instinct?
I think Josh does. I think we saw last night. I think him taking over and being assertive on what he wanted to run, that's a killer instinct. He did not want to leave that game feeling like everything was on the coach or feeling like the play calling was the issue or whatever. I think Josh is one of those guys. If we're going to go out, we're going to go out on my terms. So, I mean, Sonic Boom, Mark said, thank you, Nate. So look, the fact of the matter is for the owner to be where he is with the level of success that he has with the Bills, at this point, it's pure luck. It's pure luck of the draw to have gotten a guy like Josh Allen, who everybody thought was going to be a dud, who turned out to be the very best quarterback in the NFL, all within a 9-year period. Nobody could have planned for that. Nobody could have made adjustments to achieve that. It happened, and the Bills had to adjust to being ahead of schedule for pretty much the entire time that we've been watching this team. And is that something that we chalk up as a badge for the owner? No. If I go and play craps and I win $100 million, should I think that I can just go back and continue to win? No, it's more chance than skill at some point. And I think in this particular instance, that's what it is. So when it comes to the owner, humble guy, I'll say that, you know what I mean? Very humble guy, seems like a nice guy, not a guy I want running my team. I'd rather have an Eagles owner. I'd rather have a Chiefs owner who was smart enough to go and get an Andy Reid after the Eagles let him go. You get what I'm saying? Like, I understand it could always be worse. I understand we could have a Shad Khan. You know what I'm saying? It could be worse. We could have a Jerry Jones.
You have a Snyder.
Or a Snyder. But I think at the end of the day, for me, it's always going to be, yeah, this is nice. Where we're at is nice. I still want more. Right. And the crazy part is, in real life, I'm not actually like that. Like, I'm probably more one of the most laid back people you'll find. Do I want to have good things and a lot of money? Yeah, I'm working towards that. But I don't beat myself up about it if I don't have it today, right here, right now. I can pace myself. But with a football team, it's different, because you see teams like the Rams. Hey, you come here. You come here. Listen, I know y'all came from different teams, but we need you to do this, which is catching passes, and we need you to come in and get us a few sacks, and we're going to win a Super Bowl with everything we got right now. Ready? Break. Yeah. And then you go and win a Super Bowl in 1 year. If you could do that in 1 year, then the Bills should have been able to do that at some point.
Yeah, it was funny because I think Mac kind of had a realization yesterday. We were going to the game. He said, you know what, you're right. He said the Bills they focus on guys that can do a lot of stuff, but they don't focus on somebody that's elite at one thing. And I'm like, yeah, you look at. I mean, Mike Green last night was trying everything he could against Deion Dawkins, but it's a rookie thing. And I'm good with that. But at some point, his elite traits under the right coaching is going to be giving you dividends. And we're looking at Mike Green, James Pierce, Adafiowe versus Landon Jackson. And I don't mean to single him out, but he's another. But we do this all the time. We get multiples of the same person. You got the safeties. We got 3 safeties do the same thing. Everybody says, Bishop should be doing this. I told y'all he can't make plays over his head. Why was he good yesterday? Because nothing went over his head. Everything was in front of him. That's what he's supposed to do. Taylor Rapp, everything's got to be in front of him. DeMar Hamlin, everything's got to be in front of him.
Mm-hmm.
So who plays the ball when it goes over your head?
Nobody.
Because then that's when you're going to see Nico Collins. That's when you're going to see those kind of plays again. Yep. We're going to see those the DeAndre Hopkins catch, because we know we're going to give those up because we can't back up far enough. And I was tired of seeing, and this is where I kind of go on a mini negative, but last night was not a good outing, but the good part about it was we had 3 rookies that played a lot.
Yeah.
You had Walker, you had Sanders, and Strong played 100% of the snaps last night.
Yes, he did. I was extremely happy about that.
And I watched him almost in person. I watched him almost exclusively because I want to see, what does this guy got? Who's he guarding? What are they running? And man, good. In zone, the big catch by Zay Flowers, the only catch he gave up. He thought he was playing zone. He's like, wait, I'm man, because you saw it. He passed him on. He was pointing. He's like, they're not going. Then he took off, and that was the catch. But but outside of that, I mean, he had Hopkins, he had Flowers, he had Bateman, and he only had 2 targets. Why is it that Christian Benford? Sorry, Dorothy, this is not meant to be that. But anyway, you got Christian Benford.
She's starting to come around too. Like she had to admit it. I respect that. I respect that a lot.
Dorothy been on one. I'm with it. Yeah. But see, the thing about her is she's now saying stuff in the regular that she says in the DMs. I'm like, where the hell is this coming from in the regular?
Oh, you was getting a whole different Dorothy than I was getting. Yo, she was purposely trying to piss me off there. Now I'm certain of it. Because I'm like, yo, this Dorothy seemed normal as hell.
That's what I was getting.
Oh my God. We got to talk, Dorothy. We need to talk. Hold on. I ain't even got the camera on me. I've been talking all this stuff. We need to talk. We need to have a conversation. Like eyeball to eyeball.
Right, just like this here.
That's right.
But no, and when you're Dorian Strong, a 6th-round draft pick, against my number 1 guy, my number 2 guy in Bateman and Flowers, you think Lamar was like, I'm going for him. We was going for Benford. 6 targets, 5 receptions for Benford.
Yeah.
This guy over here, and that's when, and it was funny because I think Pat Moran put on Twitter. He said something about that. He posted the PFF scores, and the highest of offense, highest of defense, lowest and lowest. And I was like, yeah, I saw a Strong score, and I said I closed the app because he got below average. He was like a 50-something right there score, but he only had 2 targets, 1 catch. How is that a 50? So I said, nah, screw that. I'm not looking at their scores. Their scores are stupid and it's whack. So they scored Benford higher. I'm like, how? Because
he gave up more catches.
He gave up more catches. He gave up more yards. But the thing what it was, I think it was that they go on how many yards he averaged allowed. And he averaged 34 yards allowed, 36, whatever it was.
That would make sense for 50 because that's the percentage of. Okay.
Right. So I'm like, kick rocks. I'm not looking at your scores. They're stupid.
Yeah, you can't. There's got to be some way to kind of. Again, this is why I hate only going with stats, and that's the flaw of PFF. That's the big reason why people kind of look at PFF the way they do, because sites like that where it's just all stats and we're just giving you the data, there's no context, there's no convergence of information from several different aspects or several different perspectives that gives you the full picture, right? So look, this the idea that Strong got the start, got 1 penalty called on him, and not another one after that, when he was known for being a handsy guy. 1 penalty, right? I think 2 things. First and foremost, if let's say the roles were switched and Elam was still here and he needed to go in, I think because he's a 1st-round pick, they still don't play him. Like if I think they would have played Hairston right? Because the idea of Hairston is we know how to draft a corner better in the first round. So of course they're going to put Hairston out there, you know, and let him go and try to protect him as much as they can with coverages and stuff like that. But Strong, that it's a flyer. He's a 6th round pick. So if he goes out and he looks bad, hey, he's a 6th round pick. But if he looks good, oh, it's a 6th round pick.
Right. Yeah. You
So
put him on teams if he's not good. Put him on teams.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So again, these are the kind of things that I like to point towards and kind of direct people's attention to, because I, first and foremost, before I say what I'm about to say, I want Strong to be the starter. I would actually prefer to see Strong over Hairston any day, period. Right? From what I know about Hairston personally and what I know about him professionally, I don't want to see him play. I just, frankly, and to be perfectly honest, I just don't. Maybe he'll get some sort of coaching here. He'll turn out to be great, and I'll have to eat those words. But as of right now, without seeing him play it down in the NFL, I don't want to. I'd rather see Strong come out and develop as a 6th round pick. I don't mind giving whoever I need to give credit for finding Dorian Strong, but I like his size, I like his speed, and I like his aggressiveness when he plays. He took a great angle on Henry when he was tracking him down on that run play.
Mm-hmm.
So he's got good eyes. He's got everything you need to be a great corner in this system. Right? He's faster than Benford on top of that. So imagine having a faster Benford. Why wouldn't I want that?
And I will say, and this is not a come to love with Dorothy moment, but I will say the reason why Benford lost his luster was because we weren't playing heavy zone.
Exactly.
You know, we played a lot of men, and we said that Benford's not a man guy; he's his own guy, and that's why we kept saying, and that's why people that listen say, you know, in this system, he's elite.
Mm-hmm.
You know, in this system, but what is the system now? We don't know. See, Dorian Strong is going to have a fumble. He's going to have a game where he just looks horrible, I'm sure. But it's up to us to be like, you know what? 6th round draft pick. He's a rookie.
Yeah.
Put him back out there. We got your back. Give us what you got. And it's gonna pay off. I guarantee it's gonna pay off. I think Hairston, I don't know what you're gonna do with him. You got to do something with him. I don't know what you're gonna do with him.
I mean, he might be one of those. He might be one of those guys that you have to, you know, put some weight on him and put him at nickel.
Somebody said that. Somebody mentioned him being the successor to Taron Johnson.
Yeah, I would be okay with that, right? Because you got Benford and you got Strong. You got 2 6-foot corners on the outside that you can develop there. Strong has only been an outside corner at VT,
mm-hmm.
and Hairston, his skill set allows him to play anywhere. But for a guy with that kind of agility and that kind of speed, those guys are usually slot corners anyway.
Right.
Here's the other part of that too. I'm actually liking the idea of Hairston being a nickel corner the more I think about it right now, because I never really thought about it until you just said it,
mm-hmm.
or until I brought it up and you kind of said that, you know, other people were talking about that
in the Discord.
Yeah. So the idea of Hairston being a slot corner, his timetable changes, which is better for him anyway. Because as we heard from reports in training camp and all that kind of stuff, it's been very up and down with him, right? It's been very up and down with him. And that's not a guy that I want to put on the outside on an island against anybody's first or second, receiver. You know what I'm saying? I don't want a guy that I have to, I kind of knew Strong was going to be solid. He wasn't going to get destroyed. I knew he would be solid. But Hairston, I don't know what to expect. You know what I'm saying? And that scares me. But if you give Hairston a year and a half, 2 years to develop under Taron Johnson, put some weight on, get used to playing at that weight with that speed. If he put on, let's say he put on 10 pounds of muscle, right? And he comes in at that would make him what, almost 200 pounds, just about, because he's like 183 or something like that. Yeah. So if he comes in at just under 200 pounds, his 4.2 speed turns into 4.3 speed. So the frick what?
I know, right? It's still fast as ever.
Exactly. Exactly, bro. Exactly. You know what? I'm loving this idea more and more. I would love to see Hairston just kind of train under Johnson and be that nickel corner. And to me, I think that favors the GM a little bit. I know you hate the idea of that, but I
make
think
it work. Make it work. I gotta watch the team. Make it work.
Right. I really do think it would favor Beane's perception if he drafted 2 corners and they both ended up being guys on this team, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because here's the other thing. If Hairston comes in and he's your nickel and you got Dorian Strong playing on the outside, you can put Jordan Hancock as safety primarily. And now you've drafted 3 of the 5. Well,
no, you got you got Bishop, which would now be the real strong safety.
Yeah. So you basically drafted your entire secondary.
And you almost got a no-fly zone.
Right.
Yeah.
And they would be nice. I would take that.
I would take it too. So
Chat.
they're not going to do it.
Chat. Tell me if you would take. Tell me if you would take that deal. You drafted a nickel corner first in the first round at 30th, and your 6th round pick becomes your CB2. Tell me if you would take that or not. I would.
Easily. Yeah. Put a yes in the comment. Don't even bother. And while you're at it, somebody said, we got 70 people watching on script here, and we don't have likes. Where the likes at? Hit them likes up.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Hit them likes up. They free. Give us the thumbs.
Yeah. All right, Shine. Thank you very much. Says Max is the answer to Worthy after Elam got torched. Here's the thing you got to understand about Hairston. Hairston's eyes are not disciplined enough. His technique and his eyes are not disciplined enough to read a receiver with the kind of speed that Worthy has. So what I mean by that is Hairston will get beat off the line. Hairston will get beat on the last cut of a route. And what Hairston's athleticism has allowed him to do to this point is to catch up and recover before the ball can get there.
Mm-hmm.
In the NFL, that's not going to happen.
Right.
And it's not going to happen for one single reason, which is most quarterbacks in the league, when playing against speed, are going to throw with anticipation to beat speed. And you do that by putting the ball in a place where only the receiver can get to and a place where only the receiver knows he's going. And by the time that last cut is hit, that ball is already out of the quarterback's hands. So there is no real opportunity to, this is the last cut. All right, now let me turn it on and go get to the ball. The only way that Hairston is going to be able to do that in the NFL is if he's wrapping hips, or hooking hips. If he's able to get really, really good at hooking hips and be sticky in that way and not get called, yeah, okay, he might be able to recover better, but it won't be because of pure speed.
I think to that point, that would be the detriment for Worthy. But if you put him against like a Hopkins or something like that, you could recover because they're slow.
Yes,
Hopkins or Adams, something like that, they're already slow. So he could. But then you got a size thing. That's the difference in them. So he's got it. He's gonna get it. He's gonna get it. I don't know what he looks like. I don't know what they're asking for. I have no idea what the Bills brass is asking for with regards to where he is an up and down.
Okay.
They say he's on a roller coaster, but it's the same guy that said that he was worried about Kuechly. The same dude that said that is saying that this guy's having up and down practices. No, the same guy said we have questions about Cole Bishop. Just leave it alone. Just leave it alone.
It's not going to change anything,
right? It's like it doesn't do that.
They started him anyway.
They started him, and the Shada said the kid that Lamar pushed in the front row, dude had to go to the hospital, and so
the kid Lamar pushed in the front row, dude,
he had to go to the hospital. So
he hit his head.
I don't know.
He shouldn't have been touching them players anyway.
I don't know, and I don't even care.
He got banned from the stadium, right?
Good.
Yeah, he gone. He can't come back.
I mean, now that he's in the hospital, didn't let him come back. I think he learned. I mean, the first one, I'm like, it's a Bills fan tapping his head. But then I saw him hit Lamar. I'm like, that's one of the highest paid players in the league. And then I saw this man shove him. I'm like,
yeah, Lamar ain't about that.
Like
business.
He from Florida. He bought that. Like, you know that, right? You just from East Aurora. This boy from Florida.
Right. You drunk and think you won't get punched by Lamar Jackson?
Right.
No, sir.
He got me.
No.
Yes.
Look. let's get to the defense.
I was okay, Chad. See, I was having a good show. I was having a good show. Give me credit, please. Give me some grace.
I mean,
give me some grace.
This is where we're going to differ because aside from what the safeties were doing, I knew the Bills were going to go through this because because of the scheme and what they're forced to do in the scheme. They want to give up the runs between the 20s. Right. So we knew this. Well, I knew this was going to happen. And I was saying this on Friday when we did the show. I said, do not buy into what Dan Mitchell and all these other pundits are talking about in terms of Likely is not playing and Ricard is not playing.
That's
so their run game. Exactly. He went off for more yards in this game than he did in the playoff game when both of those guys played. So look, understanding the schemes and combining, again, convergence of information. I'm going to keep saying this until it sinks into people's brains. Convergence of information. You got to consider all of the context from all different perspectives. When it comes to the idea of the Bills being a good defense, I think they are going to look like an amazing defense the rest of the season. The quarterbacks they're going against, the offenses that they're going to play, they're going to be very well matched up against a lot of these teams. And even with the run ability that some of these teams are going to have, like the Jets, they're going to try to run it down the Bills' throat. Teams like the Saints, they're going to run heavily. The Patriots are going to be another good, strong run team. So these are teams that are going to try to do what the Ravens can do. But I think when it comes to the Bills' defense being able to tighten up when they need to tighten up, to me, what the Bills did in this game last night on those last 3 plays was better than it had looked when I saw the Bills do that in the playoff game, when I saw the Bills do that against the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game. Like, there's points where the defense can tighten up, but it kind of looks like they just barely held on. You know what I'm saying? Last night on those last 3 plays, it's like, yo, like they balled, like they put pressure. They covered everything they were supposed to cover. Lamar Jackson was looked stuck in the pocket, like he didn't know where to go and he didn't want to run. I don't know if that was because of his phantom cramp that he had, but that's what I want my defense to look like consistently. If I can get that game in and game out, I think by the time we get to the playoffs, the defense will be better against teams like the Ravens and perform a little bit better.
Yeah, I think that's why I was high on the offense for what you just said.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I had no expectation. Like, yo, we're gonna go in there and just look silly because we got this and that, and we're not gonna do anything with these guys. But then I was like, oh wait, they're moving the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wait, they don't have to punt anymore. Where'd Brad Robbins go? Oh wait, we're scoring touchdowns. We're down 15. I'm telling guys, relax, sit down. We got this. Just sit down.
Yeah,
you know. And watching the defense, to your point, yeah, I get it. You know, I get it because the defense has been bad. I think I said this in I don't know if it was Discord, but I know I said it to you, at least in the text where Joe Marino even said, he said, you know what? The Bills defense is kind of spooky now. The first 6 years we were great. And then the last 2, wait a minute. I thought you guys didn't like Leslie Frazier because wasn't he the DC for the first 6 years?
Mm-hmm.
The years where they were good, as soon as he's gone,
highest ranks. Yep.
So,
drop 10 spots, basically
10 spots easily. And I'm sitting here, I'm like, okay, we got a rookie guy. I'm not down on Babbage. He's got to learn. Just like the rookies, they got to learn. We got to give him grace.
Matter of fact, while you on that point, address this comment real quick. Walter says, I wonder how long Babbage's leash is. How many bad defensive games will he be allowed before he gets the Frazier treatment? I personally feel they will give him the whole season regardless.
Well, yeah, because he needs the whole season for McDermott to figure out what defense he wants to run because he's going to put his defense on Babbage and say that was his thing, fire him, then do the same thing as he's been doing.
Yeah.
You know, he's definitely said this is Frazier's defense, but we know you took it over in crucial times where we fumbled.
Yeah.
You know, this is my defense where you blitzed at a league low. You know, you had Babbage who blitzed even less than you did.
Yeah.
Last night was a microcosm of a lot of things that I didn't want to see. We didn't get, but what, 2 sacks, two sacks, maybe. Not one pass breakup, not one interception. Whereas you got Malachi Starks, who everybody ran through the ringer. I want to intercept Josh Allen. Guess what? On the second pass, what almost happened?
Yep.
Malachi Starks almost got what he wanted.
Yeah.
Whereas our guys are playing chase and tackle.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm watching these guys, they're bailing, and they're, you know, like Dorian Strong right in front of me. I'm like, okay, he's on it. Wait, why is he backing up? You got 15 yard cushion. What are you doing? You know, then I'm looking at that. Oh, Benford is doing the same thing again. So this is cover 4. You back into a cover 4.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're telling them before they snap the ball what you're going to do. Right. Your front 7 is better, but you play Dorian Williams 33% of the time. You know, he got 17 snaps last night, and only because Taron Johnson got 67% snap. They were actually swapped in and out for nobody else with each other.
Yeah.
But I told Matt yesterday, I was like, and I said on the show on Friday, and you know, and somebody asked, well, if you have Dorian Williams, what do you do with Johnson? Put them both on the field at the same time. Because
how you do that?
You take a defensive lineman off. You put.
Oh, you want to run 3-3-5?
You could run a 3-3-5 if you really wanted to.
Yeah. Because
that gives you the versatility in the box, and it still gives you the coverage on the outside.
Yeah, but you even more susceptible to the run at that point.
But you're susceptible to Lamar Jackson's speed. That's the thing. Like for me, we got eaten up regardless. And I mean, my thing was, okay, you got Flowers going for 143. They want you to run. But they didn't want Flowers to get they didn't want that 209, 143, whatever it was.
No, definitely not.
They didn't want that.
I think Sean
that's
would be
what
more
he's pissed about.
That,
Yes. So when you take I didn't, and I thought I should have did this. I didn't look and see exactly who was on the field, what the personnel was when they had the big plays.
Mm-hmm.
Because Dorian was out there, but the run game ran on our number 1, number 2 D tackles. So Ed Oliver and Daquan Jones, they're supposed to be the ones that it doesn't happen on. They're the ones that are giving up Henry.
Right.
You know, he had all his yards on them. I looked up TJ Sanders on all 22. I looked up Deion Walker. No long runs. The only long run they had was 11-yarder. Deion Walker missed a tackle. That's the only long run.
But so and here's why. Because this is kind of what I was talking about and why I like what I saw from the defensive line. When Sanders and Oliver were playing together, there was penetration where there shouldn't have been.
Yes.
Like consistent.
Yes.
It wasn't a ton, but it was enough to disrupt the flow of the development of the play, right? Mm-hmm. And that's what I'm looking at as like, yo, if they can build upon that, like that is scalable. You know, like there's bits and pieces from this game that you can pull from and say, this small piece here, the penetration is scalable. You can build on that. Mm-hmm. The play from Dorian Strong, you can build on that because it wasn't terrible. It wasn't horribly flawed. It was sound play. He had 1 penalty and nothing after that and nothing before that. Right. So you can build on, like, that's kind of what I'm talking about. Let's take the things that we did well and let's build upon that. But the stuff that we didn't do well in this game, I don't want to just chalk that up as it's week 1. Let's try it again and see what happens next week against a different opponent. Mm-hmm. Let's get rid of the bubble screens as a whole. Let's get rid of the always expecting Ed Oliver to play next to Daquan Jones on first down. Like that doesn't need to be a thing. You can make it so that Sanders is the new replacement. You drafted him in the 2nd round anyway, so you're playing for him to eventually step in for DQ. Mm-hmm. Just do what works.
Yeah, I think where it didn't work was when they put Sanders and Walker together. That's when they fell apart because Sanders was getting double teamed, Walker was getting no penetration, and you know it was a calamity. When you have Ed Oliver out there, they had to choose which one we are okay with getting to the quarterback because we can't block them both. You know, and that's where I think the future of the Bills lies in those two. The Bills like to generate pass rush from the inside. They don't care about the outside, which for me, I'm like, man, come on. Because you look at, if you play, you play Madden, you play college football, whatever, most of the running plays are up the gut.
Yeah.
So if your run stuffers are not in the gut, guess what? Because you're on the linebackers.
Right. So
that's what you see last night. And, you play against guys with speed, let them get a crease and get out of there. You got to do the same thing. So I think that part needs to work. And like you said, a lot of it, and it's not because it's week 1 for me. I know you're not talking about me, but I think for me, what I saw was buildable. You can stack on the defense. You could stack on. They tried a lot of stunts. They tried stuff that they don't usually do.
Yeah.
And it looked interesting, but I think they need to shore up that passing game, and they can't be complacent in the fact that it worked yesterday. Because there are other teams that are going to throw over your head. Yeah. And we didn't see that last night. Yep. They wanted yak yardage, and they got yak yardage. Everything they got was short to long.
Yeah.
And that's what the Bills are built on. They're not built on deep. And, and people are looking for a deep pass. You're not going to see it anytime soon. they might do it just to open up the field a little bit. But
do you think that maybe because somebody mentioned where's Samuel? How come Samuel's not out there? I think there's and I forgot who it was too. Nate might have mentioned that he's hearing some rumblings that there's something going on with Samuel personally or whatever the case may be. But here's the thing with Samuel, he strikes me as one of 3 deep threats that the Bills have at receiver right now. Right, I would count Josh Palmer as one. I would count Elijah Moore as one, and I would count Curtis Samuel as one. Now, Curtis Samuel is probably the least effective of those 3 names that I said in terms of consistent stacking on the defender and running good enough routes to consistently get open deep. But he's got the most speed out of all 3 guys, right? My thought is this. If you want to take advantage of what you have in Samuel right now, and what I'm really looking for is if you want to build his value so that you can make a move before the midpoint of the season, now's the time. These next 5 games are going to be a perfect opportunity for you to put him on the field and get him the ball, get him to make some plays. The hard part is there's going to be some GMs out there that are going to kind of understand, like, we ain't seen this boy on the field for y'all at all, except for maybe late in the playoffs last season. What are you doing? You know what I'm saying? But you gotta find a way to do something with Samuel. You either that or you got to let him go, because for the $8 million that he's taking up of the cap right now that you could be saving, that's either a much more consistent deep threat, or you need to start focusing on getting Josh Palmer the ball deep more if that's going to be your primary X receiver for all intents and purposes. Right now, here's the reason I mentioned deep receiver. I mentioned deep receiver because one of the things that the Ravens were able to do most of the game that they weren't able to do in the last 4 minutes. Oh, geez, I'm sorry. One of the things,
I'm good. I was like, I can see myself.
One of the things that the Ravens were able to do most of the game that they weren't able to do in the last 4 minutes is not have to worry about the deep stuff, right? When we saw Josh start to break the pocket in the last 4 minutes, it was, I'm gonna stress the defense. I know you're in man coverage. You got to worry about coming to check me. And if you take your eyes off the receiver, now I got him deep, right? And we won't need to go that far with most of the teams that we're gonna play this season. But when you establish that you can go deep, 9 times out of 10 you don't have to.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the one dimension of this offense that really needs to exist this season. They need to develop that, especially for the playoffs. Teams need to see on tape that they're willing to go deep. And what they did on offense, and I think this might be why you appreciated it, is the throwing of the ball the way they did in the second half was so much so that teams have to look at all the weapons they have and think, man, our safeties might have to stay back now.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And so again, I think if they can establish that they're willing to pass like that on a regular basis and not just in crunch time, it's going to open so many more things for the offense going forward. But again, that starts with having a deep threat.
Yep.
Walter says, I wouldn't be in a rush to move Samuel. One of the areas that concerned me coming into the game and even after the win was our red zone options. It felt like last night Coleman was the only real option. I think that's by design. I think down low like that with a head coach like Sean McDermott, there's going to be a lot of stress on being safe with the ball. One of the things that does not exist in the red zone is safety in terms of efficient passing. There's just not enough space. There are probably 3 throws that are considered safe in the red zone. That's your flare pass, you know what I mean, where you're throwing it out to the running back, because 9 times out of 10 that linebacker gotta sprint super hard to get into position to cover that route. The slant route is another safe pass, and then your shallow flat, right? If you got a tight end running a shallow flat or you got a receiver running a shallow flat, 9 times out of 10 those are going to be very safe throws in the red zone. Anything past that, there's just not enough space. So this is where guys like Elijah Moore come in, where he's got speed to separate from a guy in small space. And I get that Curtis Samuel could be that, but for $8 million, I don't need to find out. You've already told me he's not a part of your long-term plan.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you guys watched, because of course, I'm not going to say it. You know what this means now.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
But I mean, a lot of it was James Cook selling the fake in the goal line.
Oh, Locked Rain is back. I ain't seen Locked Rain in forever.
Hey, you remember me?
Yeah.
No, but no, yeah. I if you really paid attention to James Cook, because I did, because I was like, is he going to get another touchdown? And you know, he really sold the fake, especially on the bootleg to the right, where Josh scored. You know, James Cook took it. He dipped down and it froze the defense. Like, where's 4? Where's 4? You can see him like shifting. Where's 4? And Josh is. I'm like, why are you pumping? Run! It's wide open. Don't pump. Go. And I'm screaming as if I know you move, but you still got YouTube. It's all the same. And that was last year.
You can't take away people's excuses on live.
That was last year. Do better.
That's cold, boy.
Nah, that's cold. We good. She knows. But no, if
yeah,
you knew her, she's an ish talker anyway, so it's all good. But no, that's the thing. Like, I think one of the plays, at least Elijah Moore was actually in on it. He did a bubble motion and sold it hard.
And then came back on.
Came back across. Yeah,
right?
yeah. So you can stand me, you know it. A 400 lineman is not something. I know you're talking about Watson.
Watson, yeah.
I mean, it's cool. See what it is. They just got to understand that Daquan is getting older, and regardless of the fact that Deion,
bro, hold on, you about to make a mistake. This was your opportunity. This was your opportunity.
What'd I do? What?
Watson, practice squad.
Yes. Wait, no, he's not old enough.
What? You're right.
You gotta wait 10 years. Then we'll get him on there. But no, you know, it just screams like, okay, they're like, okay, we're playing Madden. Oh, wait, we got Deion Watson Walker. He's 6'7", 350 pounds. He's a one jack. No, he's not.
No,
not even close.
Nope.
Like when I saw him, I'm like, nah, that can't be him. That can't be him. Like, he's not big enough.
Yeah.
And Spencer Brown, he's laughable. Like I said, Mel, why does Spencer Brown like a tight end? He's like, I don't know. I said, he's tiny, but he benches 500 though.
He threw that defensive.
Yes, he did.
Linebacker.
Speaking of throwing, did you see Gilliam throw Josh Allen into the end zone?
No. What?
When Josh took it.
Oh, when he
jumped, he like. I was like, oh. I mean, he shoved the hell out of him. I was like, wow, okay.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, he made motion.
I did want to address this because Locked Rain brought up needing a wide receiver 1. Somebody else asked that too, and I wanted to get to that.
Yes, do it.
Who asked it? Where is it? Oh, here you go. Alton says, "Can we stop with the Coleman is not a 1 now? The best QB in the league targeted him 9 times in this, and here we go again.
Sorry,
targeted him
for me
9 times in the second half. He may not be in your eyes, but he is in Josh's. He responded with 7 for 95 and a tutty.
Who's 7 for 95? Who's that?
Yeah, he had more than that, didn't he?
8 for 112.
8 for 112.
Yeah, come on, Alton. No,
8 for 112.
No, like I said, I think when people say a one tech, they're in the concept of traditional football. The Bills are not traditional football, especially with Josh. You're never gonna be traditional with Josh.
Yeah, because
last night, how many? I mean, I didn't take a tally mark. How many passes he made from the pocket, just standing there and throwing? I don't know, but I know a lot of his passes scrambles. A lot of his passes, were broken plays. And like I said a million times, he said second half. Okay. All right, I'll give you that. And a million times, it's always somebody coming back to the ball, somebody making a play on the ball, somebody doing
Alton's like, oh shit, there's another Alton in here.
I was screwed too. I was like, wait a minute, that's not the right logo, but whatever. We're good. I'm like, is this a Ghost Rider? But yeah, no, I think the Bills, you have to think. Okay, let me do this. I'm going to tell you this. This is how I look at number 1s now. I don't look at number 1, number 2, number 3. I don't look at that anymore. I'm done with that. I'm not going to drive myself nuts. Okay. I'm looking for what trait are you looking for? When you say I want a one, what trait is it that you want out of this guy? Do you want a speed guy? You want a route runner? Because we're not doing a number one, but we're not looking to have multiples of Keon Coleman and Gabe Davis.
Right.
We don't want that. But
in the everybody eats system, you have to think like that.
Right.
You can't think the traditional XYZ.
Right. Exactly. It doesn't exist. They're positionless. So I mean, I'll concede that because it works, especially with Josh. It works. But when you say we need number, what are we missing? And I'm not saying we're not. I'm really asking you, what are we missing that you're looking for in this number one guy? Are you looking for the eyes to go to this guy? Are you looking for the route runability?
I think it's separation.
Yeah, okay.
I think that it and somebody correct me if I'm wrong, chat. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong, but I think right now with everything that we have, the one thing that people are looking for that we know number ones do is separate when you need to separate, like third down, stuff like that.
And I think that answer is what they call Josh Palmer. They swore he was a separator.
Yeah.
Even though he really isn't.
No, he doesn't have enough athleticism.
He doesn't. He's not quick enough to separate. He's not nuanced enough to separate. He just makes it work. But if you're saying separation, we just got to get a separator. We got to find somebody that can separate. And that would be like a Luther Burden or somebody like that.
Yes.
That's what you're looking for. Emeka Buka. That's who you wanted.
Yep.
But we don't suck bad enough to get those guys, evidently.
Wait.
What?
So okay. All right. I didn't even do a ton of research on TJ Sanders. I still haven't because I have no time to do anything whatsoever. Right. But on let's just say, well, no, because you've watched both guys.
Mm-hmm.
Would you rather have would you rather have Jackson or would you rather have Burden? Because both of them got drafted in the third round.
I like Burden. I did like Burden.
Okay.
Why? Because it in college he ran slot. He ran X. He ran Y. He did all these things. And his claim to fame was separation. He's a little guy, but he's a separator. He was a nuanced guy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even Isaiah Bond was a heavier guy, but he was fast enough to, you know. And when he became free of all the allegations like that, and me and Tommy were talking about, should he be a Bill? Like, yes, he should. But you know, for whatever reason, he went to Cleveland. That's where he went. And that's fine. You know, so I think, well, I wouldn't say Omar Norman Lott was my guy. I said him because I said you didn't have to trade up to get those traits. And Spin, you're smarter than this, dude. Let me ask you this. How do you know that TJ Sanders would have made every other roster? That's what you're saying, basically. Omar Norman Lott should have made every roster. That's what you're saying.
That's a good point.
So because he didn't make their team,
don't test them, Spin.
Don't do it. He didn't make their team. So what? Tyrell Savers, how long did it take to make our team?
Yeah, he should have made the roster last year,
but he didn't. KJ Hamler didn't make our team. Wyatt Teller got cut from our team.
Another one. I would rather have KJ Hamler than Gabe Davis now.
Wyatt Teller got cut from the team.
No, he got traded. He didn't get cut.
Well, yeah, traded. Yeah. What's the guy in New England? The cornerback.
Christian Gonzalez?
No, the corner we had that they picked up.
Oh, Stephon Gilmore.
No. We drafted him. He didn't make our roster, and they picked him up. Now he's like serviceable. Alex. Oh God, I gotta look it up now.
Oh, Alex Austin.
Okay, that's him. So yeah, I mean, so to say that they didn't make their roster, what are you really saying? What are you saying? Because if you look at the history, Jerry Hughes got traded for Kelvin Shepard. Where did he become? Or what did he become? Nothing. What did Jerry Hughes become in Buffalo? Everything. Until we got Mario Williams. And now we got whatever. So, you know, it's like you say that, but what does it really even mean?
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's all about scheme. Elam, what is he in Dallas? 4 years, what do you do here? It's all about scheme. So that, I don't think it's Alex King. I'll look it up. I'm pretty sure it's okay, Alton, we got you. Hold on, Alton.
I think it's King. It's King. King.
Are you sure? It's King.
King. Oh, Sal says, this is the next thing we got to get to here. So, cracking up over there. You like that bomb I added in
That
there?
was hilarious. Oh, shut up, it's game.
Where's that comment that Sal says Bean better be on the phone for safety help or activate Poyer. Safeties are brutal, bro. No.
Our best safety is on the bench.
Oh, well, that's true.
Can we? Our best safety is on the bench. Jordan Hancock.
Can we get a combination? Okay, would you take this? Would you take
Probably? Go ahead.
Would you take replacing Bishop with Poyer and replacing Rapp with Hancock?
I mean, I will put Hancock, whichever one you want to do.
Don't even.
If I have to put Poyer, I'll do it. Fine. If I have to, fine.
Really?
That's how bad I want Hancock on the field. Fine.
I would take 50-year-old Poyer on the field as long as you give me Jordan Hancock. Damn it!
It's like that meme where it says, hey, we're gonna go start a band. Okay, take your brother with you. It's like, and he's like the wackest one.
Yeah.
I'll take him as collateral for you guys. Yes.
Okay, I'm with it. I see some people doing season predictions now with the record. Somebody said, are we going to go 17-0? Locked Rain is saying would love to see it, but they're going to go 16-1. Look, I'm looking at the schedule now. I think the Texans are going to get a little bit better, but I think we'll beat them in Houston. And that's really the longest travel we have the entire season is going to Houston. So, the end of the season, the last 7 games, or let's go 8 games, right? Because at the Chiefs game, like I said in the chat last night, I don't care what happens in the Chiefs game. We usually beat them during the regular season. No game against the Chiefs in the regular season matters to me at all ever again until we beat them in the playoffs. I don't care.
And it is Austin, just so you know.
Alex Austin. That's what I thought.
So relax, Alton.
You gotta suck that bomb back in.
Right.
So okay. Last 8 games of the season, we got Bucks coming here. We win that game. It's here. We win that game, right? In Houston, it's a night game. I still think we beat that team. It just they do not seem to have it right now. Mixon might be on the roster by then, but we're still not hearing good things about what's going on with his healing process right now. And then you got Steelers. This is a challenging one because it's in Pittsburgh and you're going against what looks like a rejuvenated Aaron Rodgers in that offense. But I'm sorry, I can't see them winning a shootout with the Buffalo Bills. Their offensive line is too bad for them to deal with what we have in terms of pass rush and what we can throw at them. I do not think their offensive line can stand up against that. And I don't think their run game is good enough to kind of stave us off and run clock or eat clock rather if they choose to eat clock. So I see us winning that game, right? So the Bengals game is where it kind of gets tricky because the Bengals at that point, there's 5 games left. So that's what, week 13? So yeah, week 13, right? So you got the Bengals in week 13. I think we've seen what that looks like. If they're humming by then, we might be in trouble. The game is here, which helps a lot, but that's still an offense I don't want to see. I think that game could look a lot like the Ravens game, except for it's going to be more of a shootout. The Bills will be able to score when they want. They don't have the same defensive coordinator they used to have, so the game would look a lot more like the Rams game looked, where they have some players that can make plays. But again, it's going to be back and forth the whole game. Mm-hmm. And then you go Patriots, Browns, Eagles, Jets. The Eagles game being week 16 or week 17 rather, I chalk it up as the Bills are probably not going to need that game, and it's an NFC team, so I'll count that as a loss. It's here. Maybe the Bills want it, maybe they don't, but that late in the season here, they might not even need it at that point. I really see the Buffalo Bills even with the performance last night, and I'm saying it like it's a terrible thing. It wasn't like not all of it was bad, but even with the struggles, I'll say last night, and then the late comeback win, I still only see the Bills losing maybe 2 games this season. I'll give them 2 losses. I went through a whole lot just to say we're only going to have 2 losses. I apologize for the extensive period of time I took for that.
No, it's all right. I was just, I mean, it gave me the time to think about Spin again. He said Omar Norman Lott. Now, what did my man Yaya Black do? He played 36% of snaps. What about CJ West? The other one I mentioned a lot. What about Jamari Caldwell? What about Alfred Collins? Why aren't you naming those guys, Spin?
Collins played?
Yeah.
Wait, who drafted him?
Alfred Collins went to San Francisco.
Oh, yeah, he did play. That's right.
Why didn't we talk about Aeneas Peebles, who we saw last night? Because those guys don't fit your narrative, Spin. I'm on to you.
I'm on to you.
Try better next time.
Yo, we gotta get the Unsolved Mysteries music in here. My wife
I'm on to you, Spin. He picked somebody that I named because he's comfortable with TJ Sanders and says, well, what happened to him? Wasn't my guy. I wanted one text, not pass rushers. I wanted one tech. So he doesn't fit that profile. Sorry for you.
Yeah. So, all right. So Nate's asking, honest question. Are the Ravens now the Bills' #1 rival?
No. Because to be a rival for me, there has to be a threat of beating us when it matters the most. And really? And they never do in the playoffs. They never beat us. They have us in the regular season, but to be the man, you got to beat the man, and they're never the man.
You know what some people are saying about the Ravens right now, right?
What's that?
There's national people saying that if the Ravens don't get it done in the playoffs this year and they lose in a similar way to how they've lost in the playoffs the last 3 years, they're saying fire the coach.
Of course.
I almost want to stand on top of the desk and say this, but
I think they'll support you. Go ahead, do your thing.
Damn.
Do your thing. Stand up here.
I'm not 300 pounds. The desk can hold me.
Okay. I'm just looking at this side. I'm like,
it's a little jiggle over here.
There's nothing over here. There's no support beam. I don't know. If you feel it, go ahead.
But let me say this. For there to be people in national media saying, if the Ravens don't do it for a 3rd year in a row and they lose in a similar fashion, they need to fire the head coach. And here we are in year 9 of all the different kinds of ways that the Bills have lost games, both in the playoffs and not. This is kind of what I'm talking about. When it comes to our expectation of the team and the standard that we hold them to, there's how people are talking about the Ravens or the Eagles or the Chiefs, you know what I'm saying? And then there's how we talk about the Bills.
Mm-hmm.
We're happy, you know what I'm saying? And again, I'm not trying to light our fans on fire just for the sake of lighting them on fire. I'm trying to set a fire to the feet of fans to kind of get some kind of energy and some momentum towards putting some pressure on these guys to make something happen, because it is possible. Right now, we have a player on our team that could help us free up $8 million. We don't know what that $8 million is capable of doing. Maybe it can bring us a trade for a #1 receiver from a bad team. Maybe we can go snag Calvin Ridley from the Tennessee Titans, who aren't going anywhere this year, and maybe they want a good draft pick for next year in a very, very solid draft class that may be able to give them their new up and coming #1 receiver. There's options all over the place to make a move when you got $8 million. You can do something, right? And whether that's a safety. $8 million for a safety right now is giving you at least a B-level safety. Right now, a B-level safety is better than the 2 Ds we got on the field right now. So the expectation needs to be tweaked. It needs to be slightly better so that we can some of the ideas that we have, we may actually see happen with the team, But thank you for that, Nate. Certified Genius says, why was Hancock made inactive for the game anyway? Is he hurt? He has upside at a position we need major upside at.
He had a shoulder issue. I don't know if that's why, if he was a healthy scratch, but I know he had a shoulder issue that knocked him out of the preseason. So it could be that. It really could be that. I'm not sure.
All right. So let's get to play calling. Offensive and defensive. Which one do you want to start with first?
Offense, I was going to leave alone only because Josh is calling the plays for the most part.
That's fair. We don't have to touch on.
No, we can touch on it, but I don't want to crucify, because everybody, people were saying, well, what about the offense? Like, that's the thing. I don't want to get into the Pandora's box of we're talking about how great Josh is, and then we criticize him that he's doing, I think. So we can talk about it. I definitely want the chat to go for it. But no, I think for me, as somebody that has voiced it, I'm not over the moon with Josh. Obviously, I love that he's my quarterback, but he's not like my favorite player on the planet. So I don't want to be that guy. So I'll let you take that one.
Okay.
And defense we can talk about.
All right. Real quick, I like this comment. David Reed says, we might be their rival, but KC is ours. I think that's probably the most accurate.
There you go. Yeah, I think that's, like I said, to beat a man, you got to beat the man, as Ric Flair said. So we are the man they have to beat, because they keep seeing us and keep knocking their head. They are us when we play against Kansas City.
Mm-hmm. Laura said you on fire tonight.
What'd I do?
What I do?
I thought I was being positive and uplifting and stuff.
No, I think that's what she means.
I'm gonna say make people build houses and share food and candy and stuff like that. I thought I was nurturing for that.
Yeah, Walter. I don't know about nurturing, but
I guess I'll do better next time.
You might have to pull a nipple out for that.
Oh, I wasn't on camera. I did it. Ha ha.
See if we can catch him again. Sneak tip.
Give him a little leg. Take it right back.
Okay. Walter says, so they should fire Harbaugh because Lamar and the offense chokes in the postseason. Look, at the end of the day, everything that happens with a team is on the head coach regardless. If a head coach, and this, I used to think that this was wrong back in the drought days. If a head coach didn't have a quarterback and they sucked for 3 years, the team got rid of them. Right. That was happened. It just happened all the time around us and here. Mm-hmm. And I would look at that and be like, well, he never got a chance to get a quarterback. Owner's like, I don't give a damn. That's on him. Get a damn quarterback. All right, find a way. Call your contacts. Go scout somebody. Do something, damn it.
I ain't got time for this.
Right. So again, if that's the case, and we know it to be in the NFL, there are no excuses made for head coaches, and I don't think there should be. I think a coach should earn his way in the same way that players have to earn their way. And that's one of the biggest hypocritical things that I see in Sean McDermott is he preaches you got to earn it, you got to this, you got to that, all these things that speak to what have you done for me lately and what's your current performance like. Well, if that's the case, you should have been fired 4 times over by now. Yeah. But you're giving all these players a hard time to get on the field because they fumble, James Cook. You're giving all these players a hard time to get on the field because they're too physical with their hands, Kaiir Elam. You see what I'm saying? Like there's trends that completely contradict what Sean McDermott says about what the players should be versus what he actually is. There's no consistency with that. I'll tell you that much. Yeah. Locked Rain says, can we say the same for McDermott, or are we not ready for that kind of, oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's basically what I just said.
Yeah. I mean, I get it. Yeah. I get it. When you have Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry and whatever else you put together, I mean, that defense is stacked. They're stacked. Their D line, our offensive line was bad yesterday. I don't know if anybody talked about that.
Yeah, no, nobody said that. I thought it, and I think one person in the Discord chat said it.
Okay, yeah, they were horrible. There was one play where James Cook got stopped. He got stuffed in the backfield, and Spencer Brown basically made the tackle. He was on the ground at his ankles. I'm like, what? O'Cyrus Torrence. Did you see the play where O'Cyrus Torrence was supposed to block the linebacker, but it simulated pressure, so the linebacker backed up, and O'Cyrus Torrence on an island, like, what do I do? So he turns around and look for somebody. I'm like, what is going on? Like he would
look like a toddler walking for the first time.
He came out. He like, where you going? Wait, okay.
No, come back.
Right. I gotta do stuff. Get here. I was like, oh no, what's going on? McGovern got tossed up. I think, matter of fact, it was a play that Madubuike got to Josh. If you watch that play where Madubuike sacked Josh, it was a simulated pressure that got Torrance out in the island. McGovern got ragged out by whoever it was, and Madubuike got to the quarterback. I was like, that was genius. Can we do that? Can we do that?
Right.
That's what I want to do.
That part. Steve says, where is he here? So Steve Lynn says McDermott, Harbaugh, Tomlin are all past their time and need to go. McDermott should be first. No Super Bowl appearance with an elite quarterback. I mean, yeah. Harbaugh, McDermott first, then Harbaugh, then Tomlin, mostly because Tomlin has gone an enormous amount of time without an elite quarterback. I mean, the fact that he held his job this long is like the city is just appreciating the Super Bowl he won for him.
If we didn't have Josh Allen at any point and we got Aaron Rodgers, the city would build a shrine to him because his name is Aaron Rodgers. We got Aaron Rodgers. He's 46 years old, but it doesn't matter. We finally got him at the 30 years.
Exactly.
He's on our team.
Yep.
Wow. Okay.
Yep. Same thing. I mean, call Stephon Gilmore, see what he's doing.
Right.
Are
you smiling yet? No, never mind.
Right. All right. Walter says the standard of good QB play in Buffalo and Baltimore is completely different when the postseason is involved. Lamar's level of play would have us losing by 20 plus with the turnovers he has. He didn't have any turnovers yesterday, did he?
No.
And they still lost.
And he had, how many turnovers did he have last year? How many interceptions?
4.
How many touchdowns?
41. Yeah.
I think you're in good hands.
He's had a lot less interceptions than Josh Allen has had, comparatively.
He's like Tyrod Taylor on steroids.
Yeah. Look, and this is not to start the whole debate between Lamar and Josh again, so please don't take us back into that. But the idea that we have to be, thinking about Lamar turning the ball over. And look, what's happened to the Ravens in the playoffs is, to me, fundamentally built around the decisions of the head coach and what the head coach relays to the coordinator. If you look at Harbaugh's career, he's consistently been a safe guy until it is absolutely needed to take a risk, right? So in a lot of ways, Harbaugh is Sean McDermott with that one lucky season of Joe Flacco winning a Super Bowl. That's it. Since that point, he lucked out, struck gold with Lamar Jackson, and has kind of been riding the coattails from that standpoint. But when it comes to being, an elite decision maker in the playoffs, Sean McDermott is not that far behind Harbaugh in terms of kind of botching things. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, look, this is a big part of the reason why I stand on business when it comes to getting a purely offensive minded guy or just going with a younger guy in general. Just go, because not only do you have to have a guy that knows how to talk to these players on their level, but he has to be able to kind of work with these guys. He's got to have a level of creativity. He cannot be a very rigid guy. Some of these older guys that are tenured in the NFL usually tend to be very rigid dudes. They want things their way. And Sean McDermott does not have a track record of having enough success to be as rigid as he is. He just doesn't. Like Bill Belichick can probably get away with that, even though he has not had very much success after Tom Brady left. But the 20 years of defensive dominance and being called the genius of all the defenses that shut down the Peyton Mannings and shut down the Phillip Riverses and shut down the Drew Breeses of the world, like, he was responsible for that. So you can give him credit for that. He can talk his ish. Mm-hmm. Sean McDermott cannot. That's just the bottom line. Yeah. So,
and I want to add Spin put a single dot. That means he's processing something. But
he's trying to figure out a way to come back at you.
He's like, I got to go do my research. Be right back. But no, to put it in context, I looked it up while you were talking to, because I don't remember who it was that said the turnovers for Lamar. He actually had 63 fumbles in his career on 1,000 1,072 carries. Josh Allen, 64 fumbles. He has one more fumble with 320 less carries. So,
right. Comparatively, this is why people thought Lamar Jackson was better than Josh Allen.
Yeah,
because he turned the ball over way less. He was still putting up similar stats.
Yep.
And
so it's like potato.
Exactly.
It's greatness.
At the end of the day, that's all it is. It's what's your preference?
Right?
Do you like the electricity of a Lamar Jackson, or do you like the overall bestiality? Bestiality is probably not
that's a weird word to put there.
Yeah, the beastiness. I'll say beastiness, as we're definitely not doing bad things to animals here.
Thanks for the clarification.
Right. Of Josh Allen. Let's just move on. Steve says, actually, let's get to Nate's comment. He's talking to Steve. Okay, never mind. Steve says Josh Allen playoff stats are the best in the NFL, better than Super Bowl winners, and with an inferior roster. How are those numbers for reasons to fire both McDermott and Beane? Like I said before, and I know you being facetious about it, but I'm going to respond to that, not specifically to you, but for people who I'm sure are agreeing and nodding their heads at that point, even though they probably don't realize you're being facetious. The idea behind Beane having drafted Josh and kind of being able to drop that bomb on anybody that talks about his ability to draft players, to me is for him to do that is the most asinine and ignorant thing that a GM could do. To think that one player delivers you from criticism is at this point it's stupid.
I think that drives me nuts because, as somebody said earlier, and it's true, the only started being as drafted was Josh Allen. I mean, okay, I of course I'll throw in my boy.
Good.
But that's few and far between for 8 drafts now with Beane. That's not good enough. 1 star is just not good enough, and a bunch of guys that you keep on because they're your guys and they like the system. But yeah, no, I think to the point of just talking about we can win, we're always in the playoff because we have 17. Fans can say that. I don't want to hear players say that. I don't want to hear owners say that. I don't want to hear anybody that's associated with the team say that, because if a player says that, you're a fan. You're not a professional anymore. You're a fan. So as much as Deion Dawkins says nobody touches 17, what about 73?
Mm-hmm.
People say you a beast too. Act like it. I want to play with Josh Allen. No, my thing is he should want to play with me. I don't. We're just us. Yeah. So we can say, wow, good thing Josh did what he did. But for those guys, I get tired of hearing them say it because they've done this all their life. And they're supposed to want to be the best of the best.
Yep.
Now, I'm good being second banana. But you probably are. But you gotta tell me you're hungry. Mm. And to me, that's how you tell me you're hungry. I'm the best of the. So when Cook took the stand, I'm $15 million. That's what I'm worth. Even though he didn't get it, he took that stand. I liked it. I applauded it.
Yeah.
And Stephon Diggs came in and he said, you know what? I'm him. When he said that, yeah, cool.
Well, speaking of that, while we're on that point,
okay,
what did you get a chance to go back and see Josh walking off the field after the game?
I didn't see it. No.
So he's walking off the game. He's walking onto the field. I'm sorry. He's walking onto the field and he's kind of looking in the stands and he's going like this, like I don't hear you. Where you at? I don't hear you. Mm-hmm. And that the lady that interviewed him after that even mentioned like you or I'm sorry, I think it might have been in the press conference. Mm-hmm. They're like, you showed a little bit more emotion than usual on the field after the game. Like, what was the reason for that? I forgot what Josh said in response to that, but this was like the one rare time that we saw Josh like puffing his chest out. Like,
I need it, man.
Right. That's why I was asking if you saw it, because I'm like, yo, if you saw that, that might change your mind.
Well, you know what did it? You know what did it? They did it. They played it.
Oh yeah, on the news.
At the end of the day, no, they played it.
Oh, did they?
They played Mr. Brightside.
Oh God.
And I was like, Mel, you ready to go? Because I knew this was our chance because everybody they were in there singing.
Yeah.
I said, if we scoot now, ain't gonna be no traffic. Let's roll. He was like, you're right. We scooted out at that point when they're like, I was like, oh, let's roll. Come on.
Time to go.
Let's go. And they're like, oh man, I'm like, no, I'm not gonna stand for this. They're cheering and holding hands and just I'm like, no.
Yeah.
But I mean, you could tell like Dawson Knox was on the middle of the field. He was doing this, he was endearing to the crowd. Bosa was having the time. Like it's like he's never played for a winner before the way he looked after that game. Bosa was so like, see, that's the problem with that's why I didn't want Hard Knocks. That's why I didn't want to watch it, because I don't want these emotions. I don't want ties to people. When you see people having fun, we got there about an hour early. And we actually could have stopped by the tent. We never know what the time is going to be. But we got there and we sat down and Bosa's out there with no shirt on. He's got his padded shirt,
Mhm.
and he's out there doing this stretching by himself. And you're like, okay, all right, cool, bet. Bosa's out there and he's like nodding and smiling and saying like, yeah, he likes it. Yeah. And then after the game, it's like there's another, he played well enough and he's out there. He's fitting into our culture.
Mhm.
You're like, we just won. You're nostalgia, not nostalgia. The what I don't even know what the word is. The euphoria of coming back from 25, 15 down.
Mhm.
With 4 minutes left, you get all the feels. You get all the goosebumps. And you see somebody down there he's one of us now. I don't care you're 29 anymore. I'm not judging you as objective. I'm yeah, let's do this. High five. And it's the thing that when you do these podcasts and things like this, you got to get away from that. And you got to separate yourself.
Yeah.
That's why you'll never see me do a immediate reaction post game. I need a chance to simmer down.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm the same way. I need a chance to gather that's why I rather, do my reaction, my initial stuff in the chat, because I can just say a little bit, I can leak out a little bit of my thought and not really, have to go into too much depth. I can make a comment and if somebody asked me to go into detail, sure, I'll take the time to explain it. But at that point, I haven't really taken the time to really flesh it all out. But,
and I'll just say, Tommy, he actually did say that we're good as long as we got 17. He did say that.
Yeah, I wanted to get to that comment too, because I don't think we're saying, Tommy, that Bean has not drafted good, I'll say decent to good players.
For
right?
his schemes, yeah.
Yeah, I think Bean has done a pretty decent job of drafting decent to pretty damn good players that fit the scheme, that work for the scheme. What I'm saying, and I think what we are both saying, is this needs to be a situation where we have more than 2 players on the top 100 for all of the success that we've been having.
Yeah.
Right. And it's not like we're not capable of doing it. We purposely don't do it. We applaud and we laud everybody eats, because that means that everybody is selfless. But the inference of that is the problem we see in the playoffs, which is when it's time to go down and score a touchdown, we can't just hand the ball off to a Derrick Henry and say, go run for 70 yards and put the nail in the coffin. We can't hand the ball off to a Saquon Barkley and say, go put the nail in the coffin. We got James Cook, right? But is our offensive line like the Eagles for Saquon Barkley? Is our offensive line big and strong like the line for the Ravens? No.
Right.
So James Cook is not getting the same opportunities that those guys are getting. Right. That's the difference. Right. None of what I said should be taken as a slight to Cook. My point is, we're not seeing Josh Allen or James Cook level picks at least once a year.
Yeah.
We should have at least one guy that pops out of a 7-person draft or an 8, 9. Like we walk into every draft with like 8 or 9 picks every year, and none of those guys turn out to be. Listen, James Cook to me is like an A, and Josh is an A++. Right? So give me at least James Cook once a season. Right? That's what I hope Jordan Hancock is.
Yeah. I mean, I would even say, I don't want to disrespect, but I'll say Deion Dawkins.
Yeah.
That's the baseline. One of those seasons, like you said, 1 out of 8.
Right.
16%.
Give me one.
That's 16% hit rate. That's not hard.
No. And listen, even at 16% hit rate, producing a Deion Dawkins level player or a James Cook level player over the span of 5 years, you're gonna have a team like the Eagles. you're going to have a team like the Ravens where you're just supremely talented because you got these guys that are popping out of the woodwork that can play, right? So when we're talking about Bean's performance and we're talking about him not drafting the kind of guys that we would like to see, it doesn't mean that all the players that he's drafted are terrible. What it means is he has not done a good enough job to bring that upper echelon of elite players in the door.
Yeah, I was gonna hit on. Let's see, Cybo. Jury's out. He. I think what we're talking about. These guys are more system fits that make them look great. And this is not the negative bash session, but a lot of somebody Spin said Coleman. He had a game last year. We had 125 yards and like 5 catches.
Mm-hmm.
They were all. It wasn't sustainable. So when Mac asked me last night,
a lot of rack on those yards.
Yeah, Mac, he said, so he's never had 100 yards. I said, yeah, he did last year for 4 or 5 catches.
Mm-hmm.
He's, oh yeah, that's right. He was like 26 yards a catch. That's not what I call a star. No, nothing against him. Last night, if you do last night, yeah, oh yeah, you do that all the time, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because he took over that game.
Definitely, yeah.
And
I would give it up to him real quick. Yeah, you got it. You the dude on defense. You're the guy that we count on defense now. Yep. If he can play like that every game, that's it. It's Oliver.
Yeah, and yeah, Oliver for sure. But
this list that Tommy got here, I don't know. Because he's or Spin rather. I'm sorry, Spin saying he's got Coleman, Cook, Groot, Milano, Johnson, Bernard, Benford, Brown, Torrance, and Shakir. Look, the only like stud on that list right now is Cook.
Yep.
The only guy that I would put anywhere near Josh on this list right now, because I think Coleman is on that path based on what we saw last night. But Milano, they wouldn't even put Milano out there on 3rd and longs.
Right.
When they played dime coverage, they took him off the field and kept Bernard out there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's supposed to be our best linebacker, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Why is he not on the field? Groot is only good when you got Bosa across from him. Apparently, he can rush the passer when you got another guy on the other side that can rush the passer.
Mm-hmm.
Benford, I'm sorry. After seeing what I saw yesterday, there's no way.
No.
He cannot play man coverage. He's not. If he's that bad in man coverage, he cannot be considered an elite corner.
Yeah,
you cannot be a one-dimensional guy being called a top 5 DB in the league.
Yeah,
you can't.
I wanted to give no bones before he falls off that ladder. Yes, you're high on Keon Coleman, and he's saying you and him are the highest of high on Keon. So, I okay, but I wanted to give him respect because he's listening on the ladder. I don't want him to fall. Yeah, we know Milano was a whaley pick. We know that, and it kind of it fleshed itself out too. That sounds like a whaley pick.
Yeah,
a whaley pick with a little sprinkle of McDermott influence on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, to that list, I mean, you're looking at a defense that's catered to a defense. These guys are built around the scheme. The scheme's not built around them. So when you see now Benford in a man heavier scheme, you see that. You don't see a top 100 player anymore. You see that. And I mean, that's what it is. That's what I call it CB2.
Spin.
That's what I call a CB2.
You see what he said?
You want players near Josh level? Okay, then McD needs to forfeit the season so we can. No, you don't. But
right, the teams like the Chiefs, teams like the Ravens, teams like the Eagles. How do they do it?
They must suck. They must really suck. They would have Super Bowl and suck simultaneously.
I don't get it, bro. Like it's again. It's the cliche that people are spitting out that they think sounds good, but it is actually stupid when you think about it. Mm-hmm. Well, if you want players like Josh Allen, you got to have a top 10 pick. How in the world did any team that has any kind of success ever find another good player ever? What that means by your logic is that every team that is in the playoffs should be terrible the very next year because they cannot continue to get an influx of good players. How does that happen? How do the Eagles continue to replenish their defensive talent year after year? How have they drafted all of these linemen that are great? How does that keep happening? How do the Chiefs keep finding players that work in their system that make plays with around Mahomes? How did they find all the players that add up to this number 2 defense last year? How do they do it? Winning all those Super Bowls? How? 32nd pick overall? How? They didn't trade into the top 10. Who do they have? Like what are we talking about? Make your argument make sense, Spin, because it does not. Jeez.
Yeah. I mean, if you're looking at
you're right, Nate. I forgot about that. Sorry. Go
what? Spin voice?
Yeah, I bring the Spin voice back. It just, again, like that's how it's stupid. It's stupid to make that point and really be passionate about it. Like, well, you got to have a top 10 pick, guys. You can't just draft Josh Allen all over the place. Like, what? It's stupid.
And the thing is, you kind of can. If you go into a draft with 8-9 picks and you have the 26th to 28th pick, you can't get to 18. Because I swear Brian Thomas Jr. was drafted after 18. I swear your boy was drafted in the second round.
Will Johnson's drafted in the second round.
Yeah.
CB1 already. And
I mean,
their defense looked pretty damn good on Sunday.
Yeah, you got. I know people talk about. I always talk about Dafe Owe, Jason Owe from Penn State. Oh, he's a backup. How many sacks did he have last year? In a rotation.
Mm-hmm.
What do we do? I wonder what system that would have fit. He knows how to produce. But instead, we're talking about we can't go ahead and get Abdul Carters. Let's just pack it in.
Right.
Because we can't get those guys. Let's pack it in because we can't get Jamar Chase. But see, that's what Bean said. So I think Sal asked, what about, he's like, I would love to have a Chase on my team. I don't want to suck bad enough to him. You ain't got to.
Right. That's where people like Spin are getting that from is Brandon. See, you got to understand the job of a head coach and a GM is a lot like a politician these days. You have to, it's not by chance that Brandon Bean comes up with these types of defenses. He sits in meetings with the PR team on a regular basis. Sean sits with the PR team on a regular basis. They talk these things out. The PR team is in the building. They can call them up or they can go to their office and say, hey, what do you think about this particular conversation? If I get asked this question, what do you think is the best approach? And the PR team will say, okay, well, what are the basics of the situation? What are the facts? Tell me the facts, and then I'll tell you how to spin it. Because that's what a PR team does. So, again, it's not by chance that these guys know how to answer these questions, A, without actually answering the damn question, and B, spinning the narrative on the question that was asked into something that makes the team look good. We got to stop thinking that Brandon Bean is this awesome, honest, humble guy. We got to stop thinking that Sean is just coming out and telling us the truth all day long. That does not happen in the NFL.
Supposed to.
Right. The idea of competitive advantages precludes them from doing that.
Yeah.
So again, if you want to think about football like a fan, ignore everything I just said. But if you really want to start to understand the game and how it works and the insides, the ins and outs, you got to start to think like me and Keith think, because that's where you're going to really start to get to the truth. Again, this is the home of the all truth, no sodium takes.
Yeah.
When you take the time to do the work that we do, you arrive at these conclusions, whether they feel good or not.
Yeah. And it's funny because I can't scroll up now, but Ben said, scroll up some.
You can. Yeah.
No, my mouse doesn't work for whatever reason, so I can't get over there.
Plugged in?
I don't know. The light's on, but there's nobody's home.
Where are we going?
Okay, right there. Let's see. Okay, so Spin basically said none of those players are on Josh's level. So basically he's saying what define Josh's level, and then we go down, scroll down, and then he said something about there it is. Who did the Eagles have that is the same level of Josh as not a top 10 pick? And then scroll down further. Nate said, damn it, Spin. They drafted 2 elite DBs last year that won him a ball.
right. Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean.
Look at their D-line.
Not top 10 picks.
No.
No. They're at least at Cook's level. That's what I said.
Yeah.
Just be at least Cook's level.
Get enough of them cats, man. I mean, because we're talking about Jalen Hurts here. And I hated Jalen Hurts at Alabama. I really did, with a passion. I couldn't stand Jalen Hurts. I think I just couldn't. And then when you go to, he went to Oklahoma and he started putting up numbers like Johnny Manziel, that tells you he's a system quarterback.
Yeah.
But then he goes to the Eagles and he doesn't do that.
Mm-hmm.
He's more of a runner kind of guy that got all this talent.
Yeah.
But on the other side, you got a D-line. Zach Bond is out there intercepting passes from Mahomes and picks. It's like, Last night we didn't have one pass defense.
No, we did
one.
Oh, but by a DB, right?
Yeah, we didn't have not
Rousseau
one
batted
pass.
one
He
down.
batted one down. We didn't have not one interception. No pass defenses. We didn't have. How many pressures did we get?
Do you understand the significance of what you just said? That means none of our DBs were in position at all the entire game
Yes.
to make a play.
Lamar
None.
went for 73%, 14 of 19 for 209, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
And nobody batted anything because they're too busy backing up in the cover 4. we got athletes and we backing up. And Levi Wallace sucks. Everybody must suck. Tre'Davious White must suck. Christian Benford must suck. Dorian Strong must suck.
Yeah.
All of them must suck because they all back up. That's all they ever do is back up. It's not because they have to. I saw Dorian Strong. He went to press. He's like, oh, Christian backing up. Let me back up too. I swear to God, I was like,
Crazy.
oh, he was ready to get busy. And he saw him. He's like, I guess I got to do it too.
I love it, man. I love it. There was a comment here that Steve put. I wanted to read it. Say, oh yeah, I like this one. He's, when you watch too many games with Singletary, Basham, Levi Wallace, Cody Ford, DeMar Hamlin, Dane Jackson, AJ Epinesa, Rousseau, etc., you forget what elite looks like. Damn good point. Damn good point. And I again, this is part of the reason why I've always hated the way that the Bills have seemed to hypnotize the fans, because they win all these games and it washes away some of most of the stupidity that goes on during some of these games that they win. And then they'll have a really bad loss and people will chalk that up as, oh, well, everybody has a bad game. We'll win the next one. And then they do win the next one. And then the stupid mistake, right. It doesn't matter anymore. Right. But what's funny about that is for everything else in life that we endure, in our personal life, in our professional life, whatever, we hold on to everything that happens in people's habits, in their history. We do background checks for jobs, all this stuff to say, if you keep cutting up, you out of here, period. Right. But in sports, it was just one game. I mean, it's the Bills. So what are we gonna do? Like, we can't win them all.
Right.
We can't win them all.
That's kind of like the Ken theory, because we were talking about it the other day. He was like, Dad, I'm tired of school. I'm like, but you're 8.
Already?
Yeah, I'm like, but you're 8.
What are you gonna do for the rest of your life?
He thought that was gonna work. I said, Ken, okay.
What?
I said, let's take this back. You have to go to school and they have to teach you.
You're right.
But when you work, if you suck, they get rid of you. He's like, then what? I'm like, it's up to you. He's like, what do you mean? I said, Ken, if I suck at my job, you don't eat. He said, well, I gotta eat. I said, exactly. My job don't care about you. They don't care about me. They don't care about T. They don't care about none of us ugly people over here. Yeah. They care about themselves. I said, so it's performance driven. He's like, so how do we? So we got a roof over. I said, if I don't work, we can't afford where we live.
Yeah.
He's like, then what? I said, that's on us to figure. What do you mean? He freaks out. What do you mean it's on us? I'm like, Ken, that's how the world works, dude. Yeah. I said, nothing's given. I said, so enjoy yourself at 8. Don't worry about now. But see, like that made me think about when you were talking about these guys and how, it's just one, no problem. Man, let a airport hit a plane one time.
Yo,
done.
Right.
Done.
Right.
One time. No oops. Yep. No, oh, I didn't see. Don't matter.
Drive a freighter and just tap somebody's bumper.
That's it.
Over.
You're done.
Yep.
No questions asked. And and these guys, of course, part of your job is big mess ups, small mess ups. Pilot, if you're delayed or whatever, you forgot something, you had to delay a flight. Cool, you get a write up, whatever. But when you do something major, you're done, and they don't care about how your livelihood is impacted.
Yep.
But like you said, when it comes to the football players and athletes and other things like that, you get do overs because people give you grace. But that's what happens in Philly. They don't give him grace. Sirianni, I'm like, yo, maybe we can get him next year when they want to fire him again.
Yeah, we still got Jack in the chat. He said, Spin, we have an owner who pays. Sorry, he said, Spin, we have an owner who pays up front, and Howie never stops trying to get better, always aggressive, always scheming, 12 months a year.
That's true.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's true. And
why we can't have that?
That's what I like more than anything. That's what I wish, because that gets the juices going.
Yep. I also appreciate this point from George Bailey too. And
I was going to touch on it too.
Yeah, I usually don't, but sometimes it's necessary to answer spin. But he says, "Why are you arguing with people making silly comments? People are just instigating for a reaction, then they giggle."
No, George. Honestly, there's people in here that I'm not going to justify with an answer at all. Spin is actually. He's the one that like he knows he's in the in crowd and we know he's in the in crowd. So
he's the only one that is he's a self-aware troll.
He is.
Like that's what makes Spin cool. Like we can deal with that. If you're self-aware and you're not just getting in here trying to stand behind your point 10 toes down and saying stupid stuff at the same time, then it's like, all right, we don't need to respond.
Yeah, Spin actually sometimes he says stuff like, wait a minute, let me think about this. Uh-oh. I ain't gonna lie to you. Some of the wait a minute. But so yeah, no, that's why. But honestly, it makes the show go because you see the chat goes on fire and the in crowd. All you guys in here that you've been here and you've been here since day 1 or day 30 or whatever. You guys make the show run. So if you see something in there you don't like in the chat, don't be disrespectful blatantly. But banner is always welcome and do your thing.
Steve. Yo, you said throw away that sellout Sal burner phone and your autographed Big Baller Bean poster and look back at how KC, Baltimore, Philly, Green Bay, Minnesota Rams have drafted late since Bean has been here and just cry.
I heard nothing else but sellout Sal burner phone. After that, I fell apart. Just sellout Sal burner phone and an autographed picture of Big Baller Bean.
Bro, that was great.
And he said, I know he's typing it with a straight face. I was like, man, you know what? Sell out your seller.
He really cussing him out.
Oh, yeah. That's what he's doing. Enough of this. Off with his head. Sell out yourself. No, get out of here.
I'm going to get you,
I'm going to get you, sucker.
Let's see. Steve also says, when you compare Bean draft with the elite teams drafts who also draft late, there's no comparison. Bean drafts only looks good against the mid and bad teams. We need to compare with the elite.
Yeah.
That is my point. That when I'm talking about all of my criticisms about the team, that's why I have criticisms about the team. Think about it like this. If I was only worried about the division, I'd have no worries. None at all.
You saw yesterday.
Right. Everybody lost.
You're right.
Nobody looked good at nobody looked worth worrying about at all. If that's all we had to worry about and we went to the playoffs and we only had to play teams in our division, and
right.
Week 1, I don't care if we lost to the Ravens. So what?
Right.
We going to dominate our division and they count for 10 of our games. So 10 wins immediately gives us a playoff berth anyway. Why worry, right? But they only give us 6 games.
Right.
And we still got 11 other games that we got to go out and win. So the next step from there is, okay, you've made the playoffs every year for the last 7 years, right? So what happens when you get to the playoffs and you don't get past one team 3 or 4 times? You got to start looking at what they're doing, and you also have to start looking at what the teams that beat them in the playoffs have done.
Yeah, I think my issue with that is they don't play their game. That's the thing. Like, they always want to associate their game to whatever the other team is doing. But nobody ever associates, nobody ever assimilates their game to what we're doing.
Wait. Go into more detail about what you mean by that.
So in essence, we built our team to beat the Chiefs.
Okay.
We built our team to beat this aspect, whatever it is.
Okay.
But it's never the Bills system. We got to beat the Bills system. The Bills adapt.
So you're back to you're talking about identity is what you're talking
about. Yes. We don't have an identity. Like, the Eagles, we know their identity. We know the Chiefs' identity. We knew what the Patriots' identity was, but the Bills have always been play up or play down to the opponent. Always. It's never been make them beat us at our game. We gotta do better at this. And when you ask McDermott what is your identity or whatever, what did he say? And I made a joke when I thought we were gonna lose yesterday. I told him, I said, okay, press conference. Josh Allen's gonna say, it's on me. We gotta do better. There's looks I wish I had, them throws I could have back. McDermott, we didn't play fundamental football. We didn't tackle. I gotta watch the film. Complimentary, and these are all the things, but it's never what we do. It's always what we want to do, but we got to beat that. We always
Right.
built to do that. If when Worthy beat us last year, they go ahead and get speed. Why? Build a scheme with elite players
Yes.
that can combat that. You don't have to go get the fastest guy because, as you said, and possibly true, he's never going to see Worthy. And when he does, he might not even be able to cover him. We never saw that. So, when you're looking at Dorian Strong had like a almost 4.6, 4.5,
4.47, 4.47.
Was it 4.4? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you look at Benford, you look at Strong, they're not burners, but they're going to survive. How?
Yeah.
Scheme.
Yep.
So now you take the cornerback that you just gave 17 million to, whatever it is, and you make him a man corner. You paid this man to be an elite zone corner.
19 million.
19 million. You paid him to be an elite corner.
Yep.
In a zone scheme. Keep that energy.
Right.
Trey Amos was a move. Will Johnson was a move. Those are your elite corners in the zone.
Yep.
To hell with man.
Yep.
When you got your D line, you got Ed Oliver. How do we make Ed Oliver better?
Exactly.
You got Rousseau. What do we need to make Rousseau better?
Yep.
And not pay out the nose for it.
Yep.
Because you said Bosa, but I'm sure you could find somebody like Bosa in the draft for less than 12 million.
Right.
I'm sure you could find somebody in the draft that's not Daquan Jones for less than whatever he's making, and damn sure younger.
Mike Green was what? 1 pick before the Bills, 2 picks before the Bills?
Yeah, it's like 2 picks before the Bills second. Yeah.
I mean, you could have traded up. You wouldn't have had to pay that much. I mean, you drafted Max Hairston at 30, right? If you knew, well, I mean,
no, Mike Green was second round.
Oh, Mike, he really
second round. Yeah, he fell.
Oh, Mike Green or TJ Sanders? You got to go Mike Green at that point.
I would have thought.
Yeah. Imagine what this team would have looked like with Will Johnson at corner. And I know we kind of just throwing stuff at the wall now.
No, because Spin wants to know. Because Spin said, how did Amos and Will Johnson do this week?
So Will Johnson had a pick in the game, but it got negated because of a flag.
So he made a play on the ball.
He made a play on the ball.
Wow.
He got hands on the ball.
Wow.
Picked off the quarterback.
He saw it in the air.
Yeah.
Said, I'm going to get that. I'm going to get that ball.
Got into position and got that ball.
Let me get that ball.
Yeah. And then Amos, I'm not really sure.
I have to look,
all right, I'm finna do that right now. I promise you, bro. I got you. Thank you, Steve. See, said
you had to pay for that. You can just put it in here.
Right. We would have did it for free, bro. Anything to get back and spin. So hopefully I'm reading the right one.
This last one. So if
is this last one here?
He says, yeah, I guess so. Top 5 roster. I'm guessing if that's
no. So wait, we got to read this one first.
Okay.
So Spin said, I just give people what they want, and they want rants. Steve says Josh can only hide the flaws of McDermott and Bean for so long, and I think 7 years of boo-boo rosters and playoff elimination is long enough. Boo-boo rosters. So then Spin says Bills have a top 5 roster in the NFL. Yeah. So then Steve, okay, now this makes sense. Steve says top 5 roster is JA weighted as 95% of the roster. So you mean out of the top 5 teams where only the top 2 go to the Super Bowl, we're last? Cool. Good thing we have a top 5 coach who can overcome old crap.
Well, all right.
I mean, look, Spin be asking for it, man. Spin be asking for it. He be coming in here searching for that thing, boy. His fishing rod is out all day long, looking for a rant. Then Spin says, "How did Amos and yeah, okay, yeah." So yeah. Alden says Will Johnson was the second highest rated corner on PFF for week 1. Bam. That's right. I love that button.
So yeah, no, that I mean, like and like I said again, see, Spin he's getting sloppy. Spin must be getting old.
Yes.
Because I just told you about that. What does it matter what they do there? What would he do in our system? The only system we're talking about.
Right.
If we play zone, are you telling me they're not better than Christian Benford? If he plays zone, are you telling me they're not better than Dorian Strong? Maybe they are, maybe they aren't.
Mm-hmm.
But how do you know?
Yep. All right. My last question for you today. And
Yes, sir.
I don't think I asked you any questions before this. So my first and last
First
question.
and last. Okay.
Give me 3 things from this game that you think the Bills have to take into week 2 to make sure that this is not a trap game for them.
I mean, honestly, the passing game as a whole, that's definitely something that they got to take in the week. Because I mean, you don't want to start the actual onslaught of passing in the fourth quarter again. They got risky, they got lucky, they got whatever you want to call it. You can't do that. You got to start with where you left off in the last game. What do we have to take with us to next week? You have to, well, I would revert to the film until offensive line. Remember how you blocked last year? Do it again.
that could be the preseason stuff. You know, not all of them playing together all like that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping so. But I need to see. I'm going to put film on from last year. Like, see that? Replicate it.
Right.
But honestly, I would love to see, and I don't care who Trey White can play or not. I want to see more Dorian Strong. I want to see a lot more Dorian Strong. I want youth movement. I like what they did yesterday, and they trusted the young guys in the middle of the D line, and eventually they're going to gel.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to be fine. You know, it didn't look good yesterday, but it's going to be fine. And the third thing I would say, what would I say would be the third thing? Okay, so we did passing, we did the youth movement. Third thing. Maybe I shouldn't say passing because I think Kincaid, I think the tight ends, I think the way they used the tight ends was excellent except for the screen.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Keon Coleman has to assert his dominance. He needs to continue to assert his dominance in the league. So those 2 things with the youth movement, I think that's where I would go with this whole deal.
Okay. All right. Give me one thing for sure that we cannot see next week, or it's gonna make what happened in week 1 feel that much worse.
I think it's, you know, I actually did watch some of the Jets game today while I was doing those for today's show. And I think they can't allow the run game to be the way it was last night. They have to fix that. I mean, you don't have to shut it completely down. I would love to, but I know they don't want to.
Yeah.
But if you can shut that valve on that run game even ever so slightly, because that's what they want to do. You saw Breece Hall, we went for 100 plus. Braylon Allen had a touchdown.
Or something like that.
Yeah, Braylon Allen was dominant. You had Justin Fields running. You can't have that.
Right.
You know, so you have to shore that up. And I think, you know, with regards to the back end, you might need to go a little more zone depending because they got Garrett Wilson up back there. So I don't know if we have the horses to compete with him, but we might. I just want to go back to where, you know, a little more of a more biased defense towards the zone while we have these guys out there.
Okay. All right. I would say this for well, you know what? Let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
The penetration that we saw in the run game when we had TJ Sanders and Ed Oliver on the field together.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that's something that is sustainable in terms of just kind of, instead of trying to get a one tech run stuffer to kind of, you know, help shut down the run, maybe you just get Ed Oliver and TJ Sanders together to just get penetration,
Get the best
you know, and kind of disrupt the run that way. Do you think that that's something that they can keep up during the rest of the season?
Yeah, I think you can do that. I think a lot of it had to do with the secondary, especially the youth, which is Dorian Strong and also Bishop. They were slow to react to the run. You know, if you watch the all 22 or even the replay again, you'll see Dorian Strong doesn't even realize there's a run half the time. The wide receivers is walking him down the field, and like he's so busy looking at the receiver's feet, he's not looking to see the ball is over there somewhere. And then all of a sudden now he doesn't think that, why is this guy not running a real route? Why is he not going full speed?
I mean, that'll come with time.
That's what I'm saying. You know, and that's what I said with the youth movement, you have to recognize that kind of stuff.
Right,
and Cole Bishop as well. You have to come up and get that, you know, and don't worry about if you make the tackle or not. You got to get your hat in there. So I think that's why I'm a lot higher on the defense than I think some people are.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not high in the front 4, but the back end with the youth, I really liked what I saw.
Okay. All right. Bones is asking about the Kincaid catch to end the first half. Do you see that?
Kincaid catch in the first half. Which one was that? That was.
Oh, the sideline catch at 1 second.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I was. I mean, that's what he can do though. I mean, that's what we know. It was an intermediate throw. You know, it was a crosser. I think it was a crosser or an out where he ended up at the sideline. And good throw, good catch, and that's what we. I mean, it's not rocket science how to use Kincaid. And last night, 4 catches for 63 yards or whatever it was. That's the Kincaid we want. That's what we want from him. You know, and we have to go back to, and I look to see where his catches, his targets were. He had one behind the line of scrimmage, which was no yardage, which is bad. Then he had one over 20 yards, and the rest were between 10 and 15. The other 2 were between 10 and 15 yards, which is where he wants to live.
Yep. Okay. All right. I did forget about this. It's Monday Night Football and it's 8:25. So literally all 45 of you that are still with us right now, y'all,
we about to adjourn.
All of y'all are the for real, because y'all
close.
still here and maybe watching football at the same time. Thank you.
Hey,
thank you so much.
Y'all. We just hanging out with y'all. That's what it was. But you know, like you said, he got to go get some food. But I don't know if you got anything to wash that down with.
I did yesterday.
Did you?
Oh, I did yesterday.
Oh, did you have a case or individual?
No, I just had an individual.
Oh, he had the individual.
It was so good.
Oh, I bet it was. If you guys don't know, we're talking about that Ree's Tailgate Tea. Is that the official name? Ree's Tailgate Tea?
Ree's Tailgate Tea is what we sell at the stadium.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want it for home consumption or an event consumption or something like that, you can get the regular label, or if you wanted to go and specific, if you want the tailgate tea, you got to be at the gate.
Okay, but it's not 5 ingredients though.
No,
just 4.
No, tailgating is not an ingredient.
Okay, just make sure nothing. They're not fooling with the
no extra stuff. Nope.
Okay, just making sure the mixture is all the same because I don't want to add another ingredient. But let me get my phone because the internet's not working. So Ree's tea is 1 part refreshing, 1 part delicious, 2 parts healthy. That's what you can expect when there are only 4. Count on 4 ingredients. I don't drink tea, but let me tell you, that's a good drink there. What are you doing? Head over to Ree's, get yourself a case of the supply, or get yourself a supply of the case, or individual. Why would you get yourself an individual? Get the case. You won't be disappointed. But what do I know? See for yourself. Ree's tea. Click the link in the description below. Let them know PPP sent you. And if you get the Ree's tea or the tailgate tea, it's going to be delicious.
It's going to be delicious.
All
right.
I'm going to let that music play for just another second here. Hopefully,
starting to come through clear now. Hopefully you guys can hear me okay now. So look, again,
we got 700 subscribers.
Yes, yes, we finally made it.
We are the champions, my friends.
Oh my gosh. All right, listen, thank you so much to everybody that hung with us here today. And thank you for putting up with my terrible camera skills. But with that being said, you're hearing the music, which means we got to jump out the window. I need to go get some dinner in me. So does Keys. What that means is we got a jet. So if you
we jet, no.
Right, beast. Now it's all right. So if you like what you heard, you like what you saw, and you want to kind of stick with the progression and watch us grow, the free way to do that, the free way to support, is to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. But if you want to do something that's a little more beneficial for yourself, you got to hit that bell, make that thing
ring-a-ling-a-ling,
so that you can get notifications when we send notifications, like the orders are coming in and we're processing everything for Ree's Tea to be in stores very, very soon. I think that's coming up at the end of the month, that we're going to be in Delta Sonic stores and in over 70 top stores and in over 10 Delta Sonic stores. So,
and in your houses.
And in your houses, yes.
And I'm not on the camera, but I pointed at you guys.
Wait.
In your houses.
In your house. So here, right, and that's the other part of this too, is if you are not here in Buffalo and you cannot get to a Tops, or if you're asking what a Tops is, you can go on. You can go online and you can order a case, or you can order Solo Dolo online.
That's crazy. Wait for one can. Wait for one bottle, like 5 to 7 days. I so way up thirsty.
If you just want to try it, if you just want to try some tea, bro, you can order Solo Dolo online. That's just what it is.
Oh God.
All right. Anyway, we got some really cool moves coming up for the Post Podium podcast. Friday's episode and this episode will be going up on Spotify. That'll happen tomorrow, so make sure you check for that. During the season, we try to get as much of this content up on Spotify. We've been on Spotify since we started, but again, most of the social media stuff we're kind of doing on our own in the midst of both.
Anybody want to do a pro bono?
Well, no. So here's the deal. For the 39 people that are still watching, if you know anybody that's interested in being a part of our business and having equity in this company as we build it, and wants to either work cameras or handle social media, or they just want to be a part of the team, email us. Okay, our email should be in the chat. If it's not in the chat, then our Twitter is in there. You can DM me or you can DM Keys at Ham.
Keep talking. I got it.
All right. So for me, it's at Post Podium Pod on Twitter, and Keys will get you his in a second.
And I am at HAMM84K716. HAMM84K716.
All right. So again, you know anybody that's interested in being a part of the Post Podium podcast from the foundation up and wants to help us out with social media or wants to be here in the studio with us, helping us get all the stuff that we need to get done in order to give you better content, definitely hit us up. Let us know. We are willing to train. We are all of that. We just need a team at this point because we got the plan and we got the product. We just need to grow it. That's really what it comes down to. So this has been the Post Podium podcast, home of the all truth, no sodium takes. I have been your co-host, Aramis.
Oh yeah. Before we go, I got to work Friday night. So
okay. So no show Friday.
No show Friday.
Okay.
But we can still talk on Twitter or Discord, wherever you guys are. We'll talk.
Yep. There you go. You know what? Another way that you can talk with us on a regular basis without having to be on the show is to get in the Discord chat. The membership link is in the description of this video. Go ahead and click that bad boy. Get in there. It's only $1.99 a month, and you get access to us for as much as you want, whenever you want. So, and we're on all the time. So they'll tell you. People are usually there with us. But all right, y'all have a great night. Enjoy the game. Let's go Bears. You didn't like that one?
See y'all later.